So this is a little slime, which he's so cute.
I'm
I
so
love
happy
him
you know
so
the
much.
name.
That's
Done!
Yay!
I actually done it. This isn't it. Okay,
I'm so hyped and focused on this thing.
It's
here.
hard. It's hard to concentrate.
And the thing is, when you're being bullied, you do feel as a child, why are the adults in the world letting me down? Why are they letting this happen? When I started fighting back, changed my life forever.
I'm actually enjoying a little bit of wine while we do this because it felt inappropriate to not have libations.
Look at this. It's kind of, I don't know what this was from.
I had a great freaking time. I chose a Lego set that was like, don't do the flowers, guys. Don't do the flowers.
Obviously, I'm the problem because I keep making the same bad decision.
I did berate them for a long time about coming on Lego, so when David asked, I had to say yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No big deal.
Yeah, fuck, how do I pitch my channel? I cover a lot of the current drama and stuff that's going on, but predominantly I'm somebody who's kicked around the internet for quite a long time.
I guess technically it's round 2, though, right? Oh, no, we got it. Okay, never mind.
We're round one.
I don't know what I'm doing.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Oh, the top of my table is black here, and I just unloaded all these black Legos onto it, so it's
Outstanding.
What do tofu and a lady toy have in common?
what?
They're both meat substitutes.
So I do bonsai. I collect bonsai trees, and these trees aren't it. they're wrong. These trees they have bad form.
But then in high school, I decided to do all kinds of weird stuff to my hair. I actually dyed my hair jet black at one point, and I have white eyebrows and white eyelashes and arm hair. So
I got the part of the base done, and I'm working on what I think is the owl now. See, that's how you get invited back. You just do it really slow.
Yes, Expert has the most tattoos. You just can't see them.
That looks really cool.
That's awesome.
This is so random.
But it's not the size of the tower. It's how well you use it.
We're gonna be here till 2 in the morning.
Outstanding.
So past my bedtime.
Having the problem with this one here.
Just tell me what I need to do.
You're telling me that
Zero
you have
numbers. There's no numbers.
I'm not sure how he does it.
No numbers.
Right?
My kids are going to build this before I'm done with mine tonight. So
Yeah.
Most definitely.
they're starting now.
Well, hey, if Flash can have a half-hour intro, so can we, my God.
What's up, everybody? How we doing?
Hello.
Hello, welcome in.
Hello. Foremost, I want to apologize for missing out on Lego last week. We had a sort of an emergency. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but so we have to reschedule the build off between Steph the Alter Nerd and Nick Staroff. We'll try to get that arranged.
Which we will. We'll figure out a
But,
day to make it happen and
we
get
will.
that one rescheduled.
But today we have Beckett, the king of YouTube drama. Not only does he talk about it on his show, he is actually in the midst of it now, causing his own drama. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good. Staying mostly out of trouble, I think.
Well, that's no fun. That's not what we want to hear. We want to hear the trouble.
Oh god, there's been so much. I think the main thing's been the Saber Spark stuff that was I guess 2 months of just insanity, and videos and research and back and forth. But
that really divided a community, didn't it?
It's been interesting. It's it's been a drama that's been going on for God, how long? It's kind of been building for 10 years. Because the actual original accusation, the accusations that were leveled at him were about something that happened in 2012, which
Something
is
like
that
that.
old.
It's 13 years ago. Yeah. Wow. Don't believe Beckett. Wow. He never stays out of trouble. Yeah. Well, every time I go to your channel, man, you're always like somebody's talking about you.
Yeah.
So if you guys don't know, Saber Spark is a YouTuber, big YouTuber. He reviews essentially cartoons, animation, really, of various sorts. And I've actually watched him for like 5 or 6 years, just break down different shows and movies and whatnot.
Okay.
But yeah, and then apparently there's some allegations of which Beckett has now thrust himself into the middle. So I just wondering how you got involved in the middle of all of that, as opposed to being the outsider commenting on it.
Do you know? So it's a really weird sort of pathway. I watched Chud Logic cover it, and I wanted to stay the fuck away from it originally because it kind of intertwines with something called like someone called Black Griffin, who's being accused of being a groomer, and I was like, I want to stay the fuck away from that.
Let's back up a little bit. Why don't we tell people exactly what we're talking about in case they don't know?
So sure. So on May the 1st, allegations came out against Saber Spark that he had sexually assaulted or non-consensually had sex with an anonymous person back in 2012 at a convention for BronyCon. These allegations dropped kind of out of the blue.
It all comes back to BronyCon, by the way. Just
all comes back to BronyCon.
These allegations sort of, what's a good way to put this? Dropped out of the blue in a video that was, what's the best way to put this? Designed to go after a completely different group of people. They were kind of dropped in at the end, and obviously there was a pretty strong reaction there from people. And the strong reaction was this video accusing him is terrible. And the person who made that video was called I Love Kim Possible. And everyone was like, how the fuck did this video get made? Who the hell is this anonymous person? Why is Saber Spark being accused of being a rapist? I watched Chud Logic cover it, and then I thought it was fucking hilarious. So I went and started doing some digging and managed to get in touch with a few people and sort of go from there. It's it's been an interesting one.
Apparently, people don't like that you stuck up for Saber Spark. It's the gist of what I've been gathering.
Some people don't. Some people are very unhappy about it because they've been quite invested in Saber Spark being guilty for quite a long time. And that
quite a long time. This allegation is new. So where's the quite a long time?
So the problem with the allegation is that it doesn't exist in sort of a vacuum. It exists as part of like a wider kind of conspiracy to take down this person called Black Griffin. And they've been running a fairly successful smear campaign against him for quite a while. And our intervention basically pointed out that this was largely bullshit. I think it's probably fair to say. So now someone named Brony Fandone has basically been spinning out horribly on Twitter for a while.
I did read the allegation.
Somebody said, I can't remember who. Somebody said that groups on YouTube are never good.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I think there's some truth to that.
That's why I don't align myself with anybody.
You just
not even Valhalla.
This guy.
This guy.
I did read or listen to those allegations in question. It sounded a little sus, if I'm being honest. It didn't quite jive. You know what I mean? It didn't pass the sniff test.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it. Considering that, well, the problem was that the person who actually made the allegations is another YouTuber who's also been around for ages as part of the Sonic fandom. And they came out basically anonymously to try and, well, use these other things that were happening to make these claims. It was all very weird, I'll be honest with you. But that didn't go particularly well because this is like they've got a history of sex scandals, basically. And their first appearance
in the Brony fandom.
Not just in the Brony fandom. So like some of these have been debunked, and like a lot of it is like rumor towards this woman as well. But the first appearance publicly of this person was on Dr. Phil when they were 16, in an episode talking about how they wanted to be a teen mother. Which probably isn't a great
Well,
point.
that was probably a lot of that was a ladder to fame back then. That was when like MTV had 16
MTV
pregnant or
was
whatever
the
it was.
bomb back in the day.
16 and pregnant, I think. Is what
Teen
it was.
mom or whatever it is.
16 and pregnant. I think that our beautiful chat live watching all of you gorgeous men would love to see what you're building tonight.
That's
I don't think we've introduced our Lego builds yet.
That's probably
we haven't actually. So I'm on a boat building a lighthouse, which I find highly appropriate. So that's what I'm building.
He's on a boat.
I don't know if I'm going to finish this.
He's on a boat.
He's on a boat.
Boats
That's
and
what I got
hoes.
going on. And I'm drinking. I am drinking a elderflower spritz. That's what I got going on. A little lime.
Very ladylike.
Classing it
I
up.
love it.
Does your wife
very
know your
ladylike?
I think she knows.
I am going to continue my Diagon Alley build from
wow, that's
a month
ambitious.
ago or whatever the hell it was.
Right?
Yeah, we've got the first third of it built right there. We're working on the middle third, and then we'll see how far we get. We might do a little.
And where will you be putting this one, Valhalla?
I'm probably going to have to take some stuff off the shelves.
I think you're going to. What you got going on, Beckett?
I am building a book nook. It's like folds up.
I like
it's like
it.
Sherlock Holmes.
I love when they do things.
Yeah, I
have
was like,
I have a
need
Harry
something
Potter
as a
version of that.
background. Like I need something that can go on the shelves because the plant's done well on the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I built last time.
You got that a while ago, and you've been hanging on to it for our Lego stream, right?
Yeah, I got it probably a month ago, something like that.
Okay.
Then I was like, yeah, I've got Lego. Let's build Lego. That'll be fun.
Let's build Lego. Yeah.
So it's a bit more ambitious than the plant.
It really is. Although the flowers are not easy. Those are underestimated. Those are boats and hoes, Shaq says, right?
Boats and hoes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm
boats and hoes.
I'm
He
hoping
is so
this
fancy,
doable.
ladylike, huh? Half Irish. Well, welcome in everybody, and thank you, gentlemen, for showing your build.
Wendy, are you building?
I am not probably going to build today, but I do have this little cute guy here. In case I don't think we'll have time because Beckett is so famous. The chat's gonna be full, so I'm gonna have to pay attention. But if I do get to build tonight, which probably won't, I'm gonna try to start this little guy. This was the free gift with purchase if you spend over a certain amount inside the Legos.
Oh, that was like their new snail ones. I saw.
That's a
God,
cool
I'm
one.
watching
I like
YouTube
that.
shorts about Lego in its
That's
show.
cool.
I saw.
And here's the other one. They were giving out 2 that day. So here's my daughter
that's
and her
nice.
best friend built this one when we were supposed to stream last week. So they
That
built
was
this
cool.
one. Isn't it cute? And this is
Very sweet.
it's cute. It like does stuff. And it's got like a little.
I might be building that one on Monday.
Yeah,
On
David
that
has
Monday
this one.
Lego. Yeah, I got that when I ordered my big lighthouse one. Hey, Jamie. Where are you, David? I'm on a boat.
Jamie? You haven't seen Jamie.
I'm on a
for
boat in Panama right now.
He's in Panama.
Okay.
In an undisclosed port. So you've been tied up with that, Beckett, with the whole Saber Sparks thing. Is that primarily what you've been like streaming about these days, or you got other irons in the fire?
I haven't streamed about it all that much, if I'm honest. Like maybe a couple of streams, but generally speaking, I sort of like try and keep videos and streams separate. I've been streaming about some of the Destiny stuff and some of the politics stuff that's been going on, though, because that's had some interesting pickup. with the way that's unfolded in the last couple of months. I don't know how familiar you are with any of that Destiny stuff.
Reminds me, I can't remember exactly what it is that's going on.
So Destiny was accused of, and this is like in court now, of sharing the nudes of girls he'd slept with unconsensually.
Oh, yes.
And one of the people who basically was accusing him also said that he recorded her without consent. Now, obviously this is like a long-running drama with a lot of people involved, but one of the people who's been covering that quite closely is a guy named Just Ilk. And Just Ilk was basically, it ended up as a bit of an advocate for some of the victims. And it turned out earlier this month that he'd also, in some way, started a relationship with one of them, which didn't go down very well. Yeah, it's been a little bit damaging to his credibility. So that's been
White Knighting.
Interesting to watch implode horrifically. I'm not really sure where you go from there. That's sort of a bit.
Well, it definitely calls into question the credibility of what you're putting out there if you're advocating in that capacity. That's just bad all around. I once represented a priest who seemed to be taking advantage of
boys,
of the lovely young parishioners that he would encounter in distress.
What? I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, I know, right? Not a priest, sorry, a pastor. It wasn't not Catholic. But
wrong
it's
gender.
just like, it's hard to kind of take you seriously. I don't know.
Yeah, that seems remarkably bad. It's very difficult because I think a lot of people get caught up in the moral crusade element, and that's when you're really kind of buggered, I think.
Yeah.
And a lot of people,
I would disagree. I think he probably was trying to get in some girl's pants the entire time. That'd be my guess. He was white knighting. He had a game plan, shall we say?
He had a game plan. Is that what
it was all the game plan? I could see that.
Well, it's worse because the way he actually came up in the first place was he accused another Destiny Orbiter. This is like a year ago now. Happened like February 2023 and really kicked off. November 2023 and really kicked off February 2024. Of basically trying to get in the pants of Destiny's BPD leftovers. So he's basically done exactly what he accused this other streamer of doing, which launched his career, which probably isn't
funny
the
how
best.
That happens.
Yeah. History always repeats itself, I suppose.
They say a lot of what people accuse others of doing is what they're actually doing, and it's what is it? It's like the idea is that, well, if I accuse you of doing it, then I must not be doing it. When they don't realize that everyone kind of understands the opposite is more true.
You just make yourself look guilty when you say that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people kind of hate most in others what they see in themselves, right?
Yeah. What we don't like about ourselves. Not fun to look at.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
But it's been a while since I was kicking around here. I think the last time I saw you guys was the election stream.
Yep.
Oh yeah. By the way, how's the Trump presidency going over in jolly old England there?
I don't know. Release the Epstein files and I'll tell you.
Oh right. Oh my god. So yeah. Okay. He kind of needs to. I don't know what else to say. Otherwise,
not kinda. He absolutely needs to.
He absolutely needs to.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Scott asks, hot dogs on pizza? Yes or no? I'm not sure if he's legitimately asking that or if that's a Beckett inside joke.
That is not a Beckett inside joke.
Okay.
But
hot dogs.
I would say
Yeah, I think
Maybe.
sure.
I can see how that could work.
If I'm gonna eat a pepperoni, why not a hot dog, right?
Yeah.
I'd give it a try.
I'll try it.
I'd give it a try.
You know what I thought about the other day
Wendy,
too?
by the way, I'm using that from now on.
What are you gonna use?
If I'm gonna eat a pepperoni, why not a hot dog? I don't know why. I just it immediately went somewhere else in my mind.
Oh, I always do that, and I don't mean to. Oh, is a hot dog a sandwich? I've heard this debated before.
Yes. Right?
Is it?
Well, yeah, it's
no, it's a taco.
But then some people argue taco's a sandwich.
Yeah,
so I don't think it's either. It's a sausage with a little handle. The bun is just to hold it so you can eat it.
Okay, at some point though, can't you just? I mean, you can. This is like, is cereal soup?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Absolutely,
Yes,
it is.
It is.
100%.
Or is it a salad? That's the question. Like, is it soup or salad?
No,
It's not a
just
salad.
cereal.
Definitely not a salad. That's silly. Who would call cereal salad? That's dumb.
It could be a salad.
It's not salad.
Because I think there is a chili cheese dog pizza. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, see, I'd eat
okay.
that.
I'll try. Yes, please. I'm just
I'd
saying
eat
I will try that.
Yeah, I do that.
I'd put that in my mouth.
Same.
So
the Epstein files.
So
you think those are actually gonna ever get released?
I don't know. I mean, okay, honest question. Why do you think they're being fuck it? Why do you think they're being suppressed?
Here's my wife's theory, which I've come around to believe, is that our first lady was actually introduced to Trump by Epstein.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Right?
That is interesting.
David has good theories. I like his Murdoch one too.
I am not taking credit for that. That's 100% my wife.
What's the
But it makes sense, right?
Good job, Mrs. MLS.
I think that I think it's being suppressed because it is an intelligence op, and it's way too valuable for the American government
Intelligence
to
on
release
who?
all that stuff. Either us or Mossad or both. I think it's very obviously a honeypot. I think he was getting people on film that were powerful, and
sure, I can see that.
Well, Shenny says, do you really think after Heidi flies, there's an actual list written down? Maybe
I don't know if there was a list that they wrote down. I think there was a list that was compiled as a result of the investigation.
Right.
That's what I think it is.
Yeah.
And I think it's more likely than not that Melania's name might be on that list.
Do you think Trump's name is on that list?
Well, we know
yes, because they knew each other.
I'm half Mexican. I do not want to
He
answer.
flew in the
that
plane,
question.
so his name's on the list. Wait, what?
I said, I'm half Mexican. I refuse to answer that question.
No, I think his name is on the list for sure, but I don't think it's to the level of like Bill Clinton's name is on the list.
Right.
I wonder. It's either that, the whole Melania thing, or I'm wondering if there were some serious death threats. Like if you list this, you're going down, like down.
Do you
And
okay?
I saw something the other day about I just lost my train of thought because I was cutting off Beckett like an asshole.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's because I'm staring at this bowl of Lego pieces trying to find one that's eluding me.
Why are yours in a bowl? That's what I want to know.
Well, because the bag rattles. So I was like, well, if I use a bowl,
Yeah,
because it's
he's
like
trying
just
to
pour
Mine's
the
on
bag
the
in.
table.
Yeah.
It's right here on the table.
Maybe he doesn't have a bunch of table space.
I don't have a bunch of table space. I'm hurting
See?
myself.
Okay.
Dang.
So I'm just being attacked because I'm in Britain and I live in smaller houses than you guys. It's ridiculous.
Your houses are quite small. I do have to say.
And why are all the power cords and plumbing on the outside of the walls?
Yeah, and what's up with your plugs? Your outlet?
What, you mean the ones that don't electrocute us? I can't possibly think.
I've never been electrocuted in America. Now what?
I have. It's not fun. It's not fun.
You do manly things. I don't do anything like that. I mean, things like that. That was sexist. Sorry, Wendy.
I forget where we were. Valhalla was
Well,
going
we
to
were
make a point
also
about
still
something.
talking about pizza with hot dogs on it, but
That was just you, Wendy.
well, now I'm hungry. So you guys, so for those of you who don't know, we always stream East Coast time because Dave and Valhalla are on the East Coast. I'm in California. So when we start our streams, it's usually my dinner time. And I have like a tiny, like, I don't have a tiny stomach, meaning I'm not skinny, but I mean, I have a small, like physically, like I need to eat a lot to not be hungry. Like I have to eat like every 2 hours. And I sit here sometimes going, I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. And now we're talking about pizza. I'm just saying, it's just Greg's a little bit hungry. That's all.
You know, I took a nap before the stream, Wendy. You could have done something similar with food.
I thought about it. It's hard. It's hard. It was a hard one for me. Yeah.
Beckett always has to make it harder on himself. He does.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I like. Yeah, I do. I don't know. I'm pretty glad that I picked this Lego set because it's kind of like fun and interesting. But I'm like, this is a lot of small pieces. This is like way more small pieces than I expected it to be. Like,
And thank you for the super chat.
Clearly made a mistake.
Cool girl.
Awesome.
And also they sent another one earlier. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you.
I just realized.
Cool girl. Do I know Cool Girl?
Cool anime girl.
Yeah, they're one of mine.
That's
nice
what Beckett's.
Nice people coming out for
Plus, I
showing
love her
this
name
week.
because my youngest kid is an anime fanatic. So I'm always looking for ways to look cool to her. So, you know.
That makes sense. Yes, or I mean, okay. So, question with the Epstein files: like, do you think this is enough to do serious damage to the government after how long it's been talked about?
No.
No. I don't.
No, I don't think it's enough to do serious damage to the government. I think it's enough to do serious damage to individuals within the government.
Do you think one of those
individuals are the ones that can try to keep it under wraps?
Yeah,
That's
okay,
what
that
I
makes
think.
sense.
It's not gonna bring the federal government to its knees.
Well,
although
It's not going to bring Trump to his knees
anything
either, right?
that could, I'm all for. I just don't think it's going to be.
If there was something though, I think that the people could get behind in a real way, it'd be this topic. You know what I mean? I think if the people were going to stand up and demand change, this might be the thing that people would rally behind. You know?
No, this is like the JFK, assassination and Warren Commission and all of that stuff all over again. People had their opinions and thought this and that, and life moved on, and the government got bigger and bigger, and nothing happened.
And do you think that would have been different if they would have admitted that the CIA was involved at the time? I mean, the outrage was there, acknowledging the actual.
Are you saying that the Epstein files contains information that the CIA or government agencies might have been involved in some of this trafficking?
Yeah, that's what
you're
I'm
thinking?
saying. I'm saying the CIA set some of this up, funded Epstein, got it all on tape, and then used those tapes to manipulate and control powerful, influential people across the planet, mostly in Hollywood and in the U.S. government.
It's always Hollywood. It always comes back to Hollywood.
Well,
Half Irish has a question. Irish wants to know if any of you think that there's a Diddy list. She thinks there's a Diddy tapes.
Well, there's definitely Diddy tapes.
There's a lot of Diddy everywhere.
Court case, didn't they?
Some of them, I think, yeah.
Not all of them.
Tapes. But he was doing the same thing though.
Supposedly,
right? He was getting weird sex acts filmed and then using those to make people sign deals. Hey, little gangster rapper, that you're going to sign my deal now. Otherwise, the entire world is going to watch you get railed out by this executive.
Well, I mean, if you don't do the porn in the first place, then they don't have it to use against you later.
Agreed.
Kind of hard to consent when you're
unconscious.
Over.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Just a little hard.
Yeah, it's an interesting challenge, but
was there an accusation of unconsciousness? I didn't remember that part.
Yeah, with Diddy. Yeah.
Oh,
he
yeah.
would drug them and get them all.
Yeah, that's what I think that's allegedly what the oil was for. They were infusing it with.
I mean, there's that guy that's incarcerated in Detroit who claims that he was drugged and raped, but that was all nonsense. That was the only one that I knew, though.
But yeah,
Are you familiar with that one, Beckett? That guy in Detroit that claimed to be drugged and raped and then railroaded through the system, not by Diddy, but by the system for some murder charges he didn't commit. Did you hear about any of that nonsense?
Oh, that rings a bell. That does ring a bell.
Yeah. Yeah. So I went through his documents and his affidavits, and we checked a bunch of stuff, and it turned out it's just nonsense. He's in prison for like the next 25 years and has nothing else to do but file stuff. But he got like hearing dates and everything. It was insane. He got a default against Diddy for like $25 million.
Wow. Okay, that's.
And then that ended up getting set aside. But that's the only one that I know of. That's the only allegation that I know of where a man claimed to have been drugged and raped unconsciously.
So do you think so I mean there's been a lot of stuff coming out recently. What kind of smaller lawsuits have you been looking at?
Smaller lawsuits? Well, you brought up the one earlier before we went live with the YouTuber. To me, that's a smaller lawsuit. Yeah, Ethan Klein. That's a smaller lawsuit, but that's an interesting one. So I've been keeping an eye on that, which is quite interesting. The way he got that set up. You know, he essentially trolled them into just straight up stealing his content, which was amazing. I heard about the article, or I heard about it, that he basically set a trap for them, and I was like, how do you do that? And he did it masterfully, to the point where what that one woman literally said, I'm streaming this so that you guys don't have to give him views. That's so bad.
Yeah, I mean he's wanted to go after them for a while. Obviously, I'm an ecosystem guy, so I'm not a massive fan of like using like copyright law in this way, because I think it's bad for everybody. But
I agree.
You know, it is hard to deny the sort of effectiveness, I suppose. And some of the people involved are just crazy, unquestionably.
Well, it's YouTube. Most of us are a little on the crazy side.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, it's been interesting to watch that unfold. People trying to like fund lawsuits now to try and save themselves, I guess, a little bit.
Excuse me for just 1 second, yo.
What do you mean? Like they file a lawsuit and then they crowdsource the legal fees? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, people are trying to like basically crowdsource their defense funds at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Unsurprisingly,
because
you know
that I feel like has been going on for a little bit longer. I thought you were talking about crowdsourcing the plaintiff's end of things.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like I'm gonna sue, but I need your guys' help to do it.
Yes.
This seemed a little odder. So the defendants are crowdsourcing?
Yes, I mean at one point one of the defendants, Denhams, did actually crowdsource to try and sue Ethan herself, and then refunded the money, which she was like, actually, I'm not going to do it, and then she got sued, which was maybe a little bit dumb.
Crowdsourcing is difficult. There's a lot of nuances with that. If you're gonna accept money from people in order to do something, I suppose it depends on what country you're in, but there's a lot of legalities with that. If you remember when they crowdsourced building the wall, when then Trump got elected, and then they couldn't use the money to build the wall because that had to come from the government. So then everyone was like, well, what do we do with this money? We were supposed to use it for building the wall, and they used it for something else, and then they got sued.
Oh, I don't remember that happening.
That's the problem.
Wild.
Huh? You don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the organization, but they crowdsourced a bunch of that. And then when they realized they couldn't give the money, or they couldn't use the money to build the wall, it had to come from the government. They didn't know what to do with it. And then I can't remember what they did with it. They did something else with it, and then they got sued.
I think I remember that. I think I do
I
remember
want to
that.
say even like the federal government, some sort of regulatory agency also came after them as well because they were like taking money under false pretenses or something. I can't remember all the details.
Cool anime girls.
Yeah, so that's
Sorry,
the
she's
one.
asking about the goats. Valhalla does have real goats. He does.
Oh yeah, I got goats.
Go
That's what
Valhalla.
my
Tell them.
that's what my avatar.
Sorry
This
for
guy.
interrupting.
That's my actual buck. His name is Jasper. We've got Nubian goats, and we just finished up kidding season for this season, I guess. And we had a almost a 24-hour live cam going in the nursing stall in the barn.
It's pretty cool.
We just wrapped up a couple weeks ago.
Because the babies have moved on.
Yeah, they're full time in the herd now. Doing good.
By the way, if anyone's interested and we're following my chicken story, the roosters are gone. Some Chinese man picked them up and said that they were going to be dinner.
I bet they were delicious.
I had 2 roosters that were driving me nuts.
Wait, so okay, what? Why?
Americans have livestock in their yards.
Yeah, no, I'm just. Do you not feel bad that you just basically sent your roosters to a death sentence?
Well, I wanted to butcher them and eat them myself, but my wife wouldn't let me. She said, no, they're pets. We're not eating them, and made me get rid of them. So I was going to eat them, or the Chinese man can.
Okay.
Do you feel bad every time you order chicken tendies in a restaurant? Because it's the same thing. It's a critter at one point.
No. I'm fine. I'm fine. I am fine with eating meat. Don't get me wrong at all.
He's I just don't want to look at its face first.
No. Also, absolutely fine. I just feel like it's like if it's your pet, if it's your rooster and you've sort of raised it, then.
No, I think it was a nuisance to David all along. He didn't like it.
Yeah, so we have chickens and we have them for the eggs. And we had a coyote came through last spring and took out like 4 of them. So we got a new batch. And 2 of them happen to be roosters. And roosters don't produce eggs. Roosters are good butchering birds.
Right, okay, I'm with you.
Yeah. So they're not necessarily pets.
And they're so
we
loud.
treat them more like livestock.
There they are.
So I'm okay with it.
Oh, there's the
They're the
babies.
goats.
Oh, big boy in there. Woo!
That's Jasper right there. That's my buck.
Jasper.
He's
Oh,
huge.
he's ready to make some more babies.
He's
apparently now need to get stickers with goats on them. I will make a note.
Outstanding.
Somebody said that Jasper's the luckiest goat in the world.
Well,
Where did it go? That was funny.
His days are interesting, shall we say?
Wait, you wanted them to donate stickers so you can get chat on the stream?
So I do like sticker donations as like basically if chat hits the gold, then they get like stickers, little gold stars.
Oh, okay. I have contributed towards that, but I didn't know exactly what the goal was.
Yeah. We sneak in and do that.
I basically Pavlov dogged my chat into giving me money.
That's awesome. That's the way to do it.
They have fun.
Pavlovian.
I think I've got a pretty good little community these days, which is nice.
They sure seem to love you.
Yeah, I mean, it's really chilled. I mean, I just want to laugh at things. That's pretty much it. I know it annoys some people who are like, especially when I cover somebody who they like, I'll get comments of, all this guy does is laugh at things, and I'm like,
That's kind of what my shtick is.
It's kind of the point.
Chris
It's
says
kind
we
of
are
the whole
very
purpose of
demanding
this channel,
us.
right?
Yeah.
They want their stickers. They said they're demanding. Chris says, we're demanding about our stickers.
I don't know how to do sticker.
I'll make a note. I'll make a note.
How does that work?
So I've got it set up on OBS, so it like gives like a sticker animation.
Oh.
I want you guys to do that. I want more stuff for it, fun stuff like that.
OBS is complicated.
I tried OBS.
Oh, is it?
And you got to spend some time and really set it up. Once you get it set up, it's really nice. Now, I've set it up to do recordings mainly for the Zachariah Anderson documentary. And OBS is nice once you get it set up. But for me, it's just pain in the ass to set up. And when I get frustrated with it, and then I have to leave the treehouse, and then I decide I'm never doing it again. And then, a month later,
You're
I'll
in
try it
Panama.
again.
And so that shouldn't be a problem, should it? Like...
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I'm a fan of that. It's not a problem now.
So there
I'm
are
tech illiterate.
Okay, I've got a little start of a street. I think that's gone well. It's nice.
Outstanding.
Yeah, it's
Very
pretty
cool.
that.
Oh, yeah, that's
Got a little
great.
door. It's got like bookshelves behind it.
It's really cute. My dream is to have like a secret bookshelf, like a secret room, like with a book. I don't know. Like in the movie.
I always wanted one of those.
David, you can build one.
I once got consulted on some plans actually. This is years and years ago.
Really?
For somebody who wanted to build a secret librry in their house.
Yes.
And at a big place in the country.
That's
library.
Yes.
And it was literally behind another bookshelf. It was really cool. I was like, dude, I need more clients with too much money. Like I was like, this is such a cool idea.
That would be
He
fun.
does. Jamie says David
I was
retires.
in my former life. I do retire every other day.
You do.
That's true.
And in my former life, I was a contractor. One of the last houses I worked on, this woman went like all over Europe and saw like these ideas, took pictures of it, hired an architect to design this home. It was like 5 stories. And when on the 4th floor, there was, we built this weird little thing, and I was trying to figure out why we were building it the way we were. They were doing a secret bookshelf that you opened it up and it entered into a room that was otherwise inaccessible. And then if you went through the closet in that room, there was another panel that took you up to the 5th floor where there was like just a giant like playroom for the kids. And that was someone with way too much money, but it was so cool. I want one of those.
I think I remember like when I was a kid, a friend or two would have like these cool trapdoor rooms, and it was just the neatest thing ever. Just a little playroom out of like a dead space. Yeah, it was cool.
I saw before I bought the house I live in now, I was looking at some model homes. Normally I don't buy new builds. I don't find them charming. Anyway, but I did they all had, except the house I bought, they all had like, I called them Harry Potter doors, like underneath the stairs. Like it was huge though.
Nice.
Like, yeah, that was cool. Of course, the kids are like, I want that house. I'm like, I want to find a house for a Harry Potter door.
You want a Harry Potter door. That's what we call it now.
Mm-hmm. Beckett.
So, Beckett, what are your thoughts on J.K. Rowling? She was in the news recently, major lawsuit. Or
she was in the news again?
Oh, I haven't heard.
No, this was a few. This has been since Beckett was last on.
Oh.
Go on.
Yeah,
no, I haven't heard.
I had to do with transgender or something, and now everyone, like half the country, apparently hates her.
Well, that's
Isn't
been the
this
case
like
for
every
a
other
while.
day. Yeah, that's same old with her.
That's the case for a while. So, Rowling got really extreme a few years ago, and it's kind of spiraled from there. But
how extreme? Like, what do you mean? What did she do or say?
She's kind of gone. I've forgotten his name, but the writer of Father Ted did something similar, where basically they just ended up making their whole life about being anti-trans, and it's like at a certain point, it's one of those where most people want their celebrities just to do the thing that they're good at. I mean, it's like when you get like on the other
I
side.
want my actors just to sing and dance for my entertainment.
Yeah, I don't want to hear a moral take from somebody who dresses up in a superhero costume. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't want to see Madonna in her milk bath with rose petals talking about how we're going to get through this.
Smell Gwen Paltrow's vagina through a candle.
I kind of do. I'm not going to lie. I kind of do.
Really? Okay.
A little bit.
All I heard was vagina. I missed the rest of that.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow's has scented candles that I think they're supposed to smell like her vagina, not like just any vagina.
That's a choice. That's a definite choice.
Wait, did these exist during that lawsuit? I was in her corner. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
God damn.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, she'd already been
She's the
doing that.
worst.
I don't
She
think
should
she
have
is. I think
been
she's
hit by
awesome.
like 12 spears.
I thought she used to be bad, and then like the more I see her, the more I like her. Like the way she handled that whole lawsuit thing.
I
with that
like the way
crazy
she
spear
handled.
guy.
I like the way she said something. to
Vagina
him.
candles?
So what was the Gwyneth Paltrow lawsuit? I don't think I'm familiar with this.
She had some old man doctor, some old rich guy, like ski into her on a mountainside.
It's like an
And
Aspen
then-
or something.
Yeah, and then he sued her. and it was very interesting how it all worked.
Yeah, like he sued her saying like her hitting him, which come to find out he hit her, but ruined his whole career, ruined his life. Now he's got dementia, all these things. He's like 80. Like he was gonna have that anyway.
He was a doctor or a surgeon or something, and he was getting to that point in life, and he decided to blame Gwyneth Paltrow for his failing cognitive ability. And
Val, do you think
didn't
he
work
kind of
out.
ended up being unhinged? Yeah, didn't you think he was?
Yeah, no. I think he was
Yeah.
he's losing it a little bit.
You almost kind of felt bad at the end.
Well, she was very nice to him, but
Mhm.
come on. The candle thing has just gotten me. I can't support her anymore.
Well, I'm gonna get that candle for Valhalla now. Well, I want to know.
Outstanding.
Right.
I don't think it actually smells like her.
So it's
scent.
just
I think the first.
that.
I think the first one was, and I don't know this actually. I'm just speculating, but I think it was just a pleasant fragrance that she made a joke out of and said it smelled like her vagina.
Oh, that's a bummer. Okay.
I don't really know.
No,
I could
because
be
they all
wrong.
smell like roses.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah, Goop. Her company's called Goop.
Goop.
Yeah, she has been selling that weird stuff for a while now.
So what's like from the perspective of like general lawsuits, like what are the big ones have you been covering?
Well, I just got done with Karen Reed, which isn't a civil suit. Obviously, it was a criminal case. But that one was pretty big. A bunch of people were covering that.
I don't think I saw anything about that one.
About Karen Reed? Oh wow.
Oh,
which
one? So you gotta give them some insight.
Oh yeah, tell him.
Karen Reed was arrested in Massachusetts for the unaliving of her Boston police officer boyfriend, who was found the next morning in another Boston police officer's front yard.
Wow.
Long story short, yeah, this one was wild. So long story short, they all go out, meet up at a bar. Everybody goes back to the cop's house to continue celebrating, right? Karen parks in the front of the house, drops John, the boyfriend, off, and then leaves. She gets pissed off that he's not coming back. So she leaves, goes back to his house. The next morning she wakes up. Everybody's, obviously very drunk. She wakes up, goes to find him, finds him in the front yard. He's deceased. They blamed her for it, said that she hit him with a car. But there's no damage from a car to him anywhere.
His injuries are not consistent with being hit with a car. In fact, they're more consistent with being attacked by a dog and maybe even beaten up, of which the homeowner, the cop, had a dog that he rehomed suspiciously right after this case, or right after this death. And then
he sold his family house for it was, a
generational
family home.
The police never went in the house.
The whole thing was very suspicious.
A cop died on the front yard.
Wait, what?
So she's now suing.
It went to trial twice.
Because there was a horrible judge. She went to trial twice. The first one was
hung
a
jury
mistrial.
the first time, right?
It was a horrible judge. Hung jury the first time. Just wrapped up the second trial. But it was like one of those quintessentially bad judges that would just make everything possible for the state and nothing possible for the defense. And they got an acquittal on the second trial.
And a sleazy prosecutor. The whole thing was really just gross to watch.
This case even had the federal government involved. The federal government investigated the allegations and the police, and those experts testified on behalf of the defense, but the judge would not allow the defense to mention that they were hired by the FBI to do this investigation because that might prejudice the jury.
Wait,
as
what?
it
That-
should have.
That's
The whole thing is
unbelievable.
nuts. The whole thing is nuts, Beckett. The whole thing is absolutely nuts.
Yeah,
It's this grimy DA named Morrissey up in Norfolk County, Massachusetts, and he brought charges and he publicly vouched for some of the witnesses that they were good people before the trial even came close to it was insane. The whole thing. It was like 3 years of just one insanity after the next. One of the cops got fired. One of the state police got fired. A bunch of them got moved around.
He got fired because he was sending texts to his buddy saying he was going through the defendant's phone, Karen Reed's phone, looking for nudes. And don't worry, they're not gonna. Don't worry, they're not gonna pin it. Don't worry, they're not gonna pin it on the homeowner. He's a cop too. Those are the text messages that were being sent. The reason why I though heard about this case is that there's a YouTuber who goes by the name of Turtle Boy who was covering it. He's local.
In a couple weeks.
And he was criminally charged with intimidating witnesses because he was doing his investigative reporting and talking about all this stuff, digging into the evidence. And he even found a witness that was out that night that the police said didn't exist. And so they charged him criminally, a plow driver. They charged him criminally, and that's when I got involved. So we've interviewed Turtle Boy a couple of times. He'll be on actually Lego Law on Monday. So, but his criminal charges are still pending.
I think Beckett would be into that. He'll probably want to see that Turtle Boy interview.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, I think that's up your alley.
Turtle Boy's wild.
That's insane.
The whole thing is crazy.
It's so juicy. If it wasn't a real person, if it wasn't real, like you would think it was a book. Like it's just so. It's like starts up with the corrupt police department. Like everything's corrupt. The DA, the police, all of it is so scary.
That's actually wild. I mean, that just it literally sounds like it sounds like a crime novel.
It really does. Also,
right?
it doesn't hurt that like the victim was handsome, the accused murderer was a pretty lady. Like it's like. Hold on, I gotta close my door.
That's like TV movie stuff.
I don't think she was that pretty. No, but yeah, no, it's a really interesting case, and yeah, like TV movie, like it's so, but the facts are so bad, it's almost Hallmarky. It's it's like this isn't real. This doesn't happen in real life, kind of thing. Yeah. But it did. It was ridiculous. How does this
They drained her. They drained this woman. She was fairly wealthy. Her family was fairly wealthy. They drained her for millions prosecuting this case.
Poor lady.
So
now she did crowdsource a little bit of her defense, and Turtle Boy is too. So that's what I was saying. Like crowdsourcing of the defense, I get, but crowdsourcing
I thought that
like,
was
the plaintiffs were.
Didn't Nate the lawyer crowdsource a civil lawsuit a couple of years ago against?
I don't know. I'm not necessarily a fan of it if he did, though. I don't know the facts, but
yeah, that's. I mean, like,
so
I get crowdsourcing stuff. Like, I think it's reasonable in certain circumstances, and also I kind of can't hate people for it. It's like, well, if you've got the audience and you're being screwed over, you kind of use whatever advantages you have. Is that unreasonable? Like,
yeah, it makes sense to me.
Just what people.
You better believe my poor ass. If I ever get sued, I'm gonna be crowdsourcing the shit out of it, crowdfunding the shit out of it. Well,
I've had people offer to like, hey, we'll help contribute towards a lawsuit if you want to file a lawsuit in the past. Like, nah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, because when you take people's money, you got to take their BS. That's a tough one.
Well, it's people are going to like have expectations.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I don't
like,
give money without expectations. Not normally. Except the IRS.
And that's how Wendy found her last husband.
I'm ready. I think I'm ready for a new one now. I think number 4 is out there waiting somewhere.
Oh, he's out there somewhere.
Right?
Where's number 5?
Oh, you can tell a man just shivered somewhere, can't you?
Right. I saw this guy the other day and I'm like, that's number 4. And my sister goes, husband number 4? And I go, no, ex-husband number 4.
There you go.
Cool anime girl said, I think Beckett is so happy to have someone else reading chat so he doesn't have to. It gives us dyslexia a break. Girl, that's why I'm here. That's the only reason I'm here. It's so hard to, especially when you're building Lego and you're being interviewed or you're interviewing, it's so hard to pay attention to chat.
There's a lot of
it's a little bit of a challenge. It's nice, to come and chill.
I always chat in Beckett's streams, and then he's like not getting to it. I'm like, he's just ignoring me. He doesn't like me anymore. And then eventually he gets to him.
Yeah, no, I like seeing you in chat. It's always nice. I always wonder what you're thinking when you're coming in just to watch one of the most random dramas unfold.
He texts us on
awesome.
our
I
group
love the
chat
random dramas.
He
That's
loves-
why, so Saberspark, like I didn't know anything about the whole issue with Saberspark. I've watched him for, like I said, like 5 or 6 years. Great channel, by the way. Great insight into animation, all sorts of animation. By the way, the most disturbing animation I've ever seen in my life, I discovered because of his channel. Judas, you ever watch that animation? That German.
Oh, that rings a bell, actually.
It's because of him. I'm like, oh my God, I have to see this thing because the way he was describing it. And it was the most disturbing animation I've ever seen. But quality content on his channel. But I didn't know any of the accusations against him or the drama, except for I just randomly stumbled into your stream a few weeks back.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the most interesting kind of ones I've ever come across. But I think partly because it was so old and like it'd been going on for so long that this sort of accusation had been brewing, so to speak. But also because
now you're actually in the middle of it too.
Yeah, I guess to an extent. There's definitely an element there where it's a good way to put this. People are like, so the work that I kind of did and pulled together was kind of getting interviews and conversations with basically everyone involved. And I was able to pick apart what happened through everyone's DMs, the behind the scenes, which I've done a few times before with other projects. But in this case, the story unraveled so quickly for the accuser. She actually backed down in a call with me and was just like, well, I can see how he'd think, at the very least, think that I wanted to have sex with him because I'm a people pleaser. So by the end, she was like, well, because this sort of like, she affirmed him and she basically admits to affirming him. And it's like, well, you can't accuse this guy of rape years later if at the time, through this entire relationship, you're affirming him.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, because the friendship carried on for years afterwards. That's always one of the weird, suspicious things. Like if I hear of a rape accusation or a sexual assault accusation, but then I'm like, but you continued to talk and hang out with this dude for a while, a substantial amount of time afterwards. I'm always a little sus.
Well, it was a few months afterwards, but actually, like, what finally threw her over the edge was he unfollowed her on Twitter.
Yeah, that's the weird. That's like the weird random thing. It's like just. And now I will have to say, I also believe that his reasoning that he gave her was bullshit, which was just like, oh, I just have to like clear out some of my followers so I can keep track of things. I don't know, whatever it was he said. I can't remember exactly what his excuse was in the message, but I was like, well, that's bullshit. But I'm also sympathetic to the idea of not wanting to just like go after somebody, be like, hey, listen, it was fun, but this thing, you're kind of insane and I'm over it.
Yeah, I mean, he was like
you kind of
early 20s. He didn't really like he was just trying to, not hurt her feelings and not have something like this kick off really. And
yeah,
in the long term, that backfired on him a little bit, but it's you're talking years later for that kind of like the repercussions to hit him.
Yeah, this was essentially a consensual relationship. it may not have been terribly serious, probably more of a casual relationship. And he just thought, you know, hey, I'm not into this anymore, and tried to let her down gently. And that's what happened, folks. Just tell the ladies the truth.
Yeah.
Well, this
Break
was
it to 'em.
this was like an encounter at a con of some kind, right? Some kind of a bro
They knew each
convention
other
or
ahead of
something.
time, though.
And it wasn't just one, right? It was two separate conventions that they met up and got frisky, shall we say?
You can say it that way. Yeah, sure.
Fraternization happening.
So it doesn't, nothing about it checked out. Like, why would you go on another date with your graper? You know what I mean? Like, that's not normal human behavior.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the only reason it got this far is because they wanted to go after him again because of this Black Griffin stuff. Because Black Griffin was accused of grooming his wife into a relationship, and Saber Spark.
Is his wife younger?
His wife is younger, so his wife is actually the voice actress who played Sweetie Belle on My Little Pony.
Okay, I remember now.
Okay. See, it all comes back to the bronies.
Yeah,
it does. It does
every time. But like their relationship, you can describe it as weird. And Gabe himself, like Black Griffin, is a weird guy. He is not like super normal. He's very autistic, and he's sort of like entwined with all these fandoms. But there's just no evidence that he's a groomer. You know,
well, even in that situation specifically, the wife said that she only met him like once or twice in passing. Like they never actually worked together the entire time. They were
it
both
was
voice
like
actors on the
I
thing.
think they met. They went through and talked about it, and they met a total of, I believe it's 8 times, outside of conventions. And when she was like 20, she was like, "Yeah, you're gonna date me." And if you talk to this girl, it's quite clear that she's one of these women who just does not take no for an answer. She is very determined, is how I would describe Claire.
Nice.
So yeah, that's and now they're sort of dealing with the fallout of that, really, in some respects.
So Beckett, I have a question. What secret conspiracy would you like to actually start letting other people know, if you have one that you want to tell us about?
Secret conspiracy.
Or one, maybe not secret, but one we haven't heard of yet.
Oh, that's an interesting question. Conspiracy. Well, I don't know. Like, I mean, we mentioned the Epstein files. I quite like the theory that Epstein's still alive.
Ooh,
I wouldn't be surprised. That checks out, in my opinion.
Was he hanging out with Elvis down in Panama?
No, it's Tupac.
No, I think he really. I mean, they're not going to leave an intelligence asset sitting in Rikers.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I love the idea that secretly somewhere Epstein's just sort of kicking around and carrying on. I think that's a very funny idea.
Well, did we have a funeral?
I'm not sure. I mean, okay. So I'd say this way as well. It's like if there's no Epstein files, why is Maxwell still in prison? Why doesn't Trump just pardon her?
The only person in the history of the world to be arrested for trafficking to nobody.
Yep. There is something definitely going on with this where I just think there's something else. There's something else. There must be. And like, if you want to start a conspiracy theory amongst the public, this is how you do it, right?
Right.
Like, it's so
nothing to see here.
Yeah. It's so incompetent. It's unreal. Somebody must be getting fired.
Well, I like Shell. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Shell says, my favorite conspiracy is that Katy Perry is John Benet Ramsey. I haven't heard this.
Where did that conspiracy theory
Ooh,
come
that's
from?
a good one.
I mean,
That's
it's amazing,
awesome.
and I'm all for it. But
I want a
She
DNA
does look
test.
like that mom a little bit. Katy Perry does look like John Benet's mom,
She kind of does, actually.
right?
A little bit.
Interesting. And thank you again for the super chat. You've all been so generous tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Shell. What about you guys? What's your favorite conspiracy theory for the moment?
Well, now I got to think of that.
Well, I mean, Epstein's the hot button, right? Like that's the go-to, I think.
Yeah.
It's got to be at the moment.
That's too easy.
Maybe.
Too easy. You got to go with something else.
You're going to go JFK, aren't you?
You know what? I don't even know. Man, now I'm confused.
I feel like we've hit a point where there's so many conspiracy theories that keep sort of having grains of truth to them. It's become a bit pointless. Everyone's like, this is crazy conspiracy theory. And everyone's like, oh, that's crazy. And then 6 months later, you're like, oh, that was true? Oh, okay. I guess. Sure.
No, I'm going to go with my wife's theory that Melania's name is in that little black book or on the list. I'm going to go with that because I think that not only informs a lot of things, I think it's totally plausible.
Could be. I'm not going to disagree with it.
Is your wife hypothesizing or theorizing? I don't know if I know the difference. That she was one of the workers.
Yes.
On the list. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, but she's quite a bit older, right? Like Ivanka's not a spring chicken. So
hang on a
the
second.
age group that would have been appropriate would have been way before any of these allegations, I think.
Oh, Melania. You think it would have been too old for that demo for those people?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
they like
Okay,
them
you're right.
younger.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
How old she was.
Okay, so my wife was saying that I asked her like how old she was. She doesn't know the age, but the picture when Trump and Epstein and Melania are all together is 2000. They didn't marry until 2005 or 2006. So that's where she got
I mean,
the
I think
theory
she's like, isn't she like my age? She would have in 2000. She would have been.
from. Yeah, but Wendy, I could traffic you. I mean, that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if Wendy keeps talking about Trump, you might have to, right?
Right. Totally.
Right.
Like,
Totally. That's Beckett. You see, I'm trying
She
to
was
be so.
30.
I'm
Oh,
trying to
she
be
was
so
30 at
careful.
the time. So I guess she was a little old, but
Yeah.
again, to each their own. Guys got preferences.
what do you guys think of the stuff that's happened with ICE and things?
What do you
What do you
think
mean?
about the stuff that's happened with ICE and things?
I think that controlling borders is important, even as a left winger. I think that from the
Don't say that too loud.
Perspectives of sort of like many elements, whether it's labor, security, whatever, is important. But I think the extents ICE are going to, which seem to violate fundamental rights, without and bypassing courts and just deporting people, seems obviously ethically wrong.
Hey, Island.
I do agree that we need to maintain the due process. But outside of that, I have no problem with rounding them up and trying to do whatever to secure the border. But there needs to be due process. And to the extent that one guy was deported to that tropical resort, whatever it's called,
Wait,
without
El Salvador prison. Are we calling that a tropical resort? Really?
in El Salvador. Yeah. I think the problem is that he needs to bring him back, have his day in court, and then deport him again, because he needs to have his day in court. I'm not saying you need to keep him, but he needs to have his day in court. It's just like when I do a lot of criminal defense work, and some people ask me, how is it that I can defend like truly guilty people of truly heinous crimes? And it's like, my job is to make sure that the government does the job that they're supposed to do, that they don't take shortcuts. And so just bring them back, give them his due process, and then deport him. So that's my big thing. I don't like the fact that the due process is being skipped.
What due process did they skip? And I'm not.
They
being
had to have
smartass,
a
I'm just-
hearing on the deportation. So they had him. I'm going to get all the terms wrong. Basically, they had him so that he would be deported, but they didn't actually. They put a stay on it. That's what it was. They put a stay on it. But then they were going to lift the stay and send him somewhere else. Well, he needs to have another hearing on that. And they never had that other hearing. They just decided to do it. Like, oh, but we already have the orders where we can. It's like, yes, but you put a stay on it. So since you put a stay on it, you have to have another hearing to justify removing the stay. And I don't care if it's a rubber stamp, if it's a 15-minute, fine. But it is what it is. And stop taking the shortcuts. Because when they start taking shortcuts for people who truly need to be deported, truly did crimes, then they're going to start taking shortcuts for the innocent people that have a lawful right to be here or didn't commit the crime. So to stop the shortcuts, take all the steps that you need to take and do it properly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my thoughts. And I have this piece left over out of a set, and it's a pretty big piece, and I think it needs to go somewhere, and I don't know where.
That definitely needs to go somewhere.
I know where.
Yeah, I know, right?
That piece definitely needs to go somewhere.
So at the Lego
Yeah,
store,
I
they
don't know
have
where, though.
all like individual pieces, and it was so cute. I love the crowd who hangs out at the Lego store, like the serious shoppers, you know. And these two men, probably my age, but very into Lego. Let's just say, the kind of guys that would be at like the Comic-Con, you know, whatever. They're standing behind me and they're so intently looking at this wall, and they're just like. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, am I in your way?" And they're like. They couldn't care. They weren't looking at me. They're looking, and I go, "Am I in your way?" And they're like, "No, you're fine. You're fine." They were just like planning their next build. It was really cute.
Yeah, I've wanted to start doing like custom builds and things. I think that would be really fun.
Heck yeah.
So she was in 2000. She was a nude model when she was photographed with Trump and Epstein. So that's why. So even though she was like nearly 30. She sort of ran in those circles. I'm still going to say she's on the list.
I'm sure she is. Like, I'm sure she's somehow.
Well, when you get deported for saying that, let me know.
Well, David's going to try to get his Italian citizenship, so he has somewhere to go.
I'm already in Panama, so we're good. Ooh,
Yeah,
I figured out where it goes.
You just can't come home now.
Panama's not going to deport me for talking crap about Trump.
They're not, but you may not be able to get back in. America.
Just give him like 50 pesos. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Right?
I figured out where it went. Now I got to try to get it in there.
That's what she said.
So, Beckett, do you have a better half? I don't think I ever asked you that.
No, I am single these days.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, very, very single.
Have you never been married? Legally married?
I have never been married.
Oh, Beckett, we gotta
legally
get you going.
Legally or
say, what
otherwise.
about illegally married?
Yeah, I've always maintained my status as a bachelor.
I love that for you. That's awesome.
You're not that old, though, are you? You're pretty young. Guys,
early 30s. So
yeah, you got time, man. Don't rush it.
Time
You've got 20 years left. Don't wait. Yeah, don't waste your youth on marriage, man. Go have fun.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I've always been. I'm fairly. I like my independence. Marriage seems like a lot of work.
But if you marry the right woman, it's not. I'm sitting here on a boat playing Lego and talking with you guys, and I'm married.
Right.
So you got to just marry the right one.
Agreed.
True.
Sure. And if you find an extra one lying around, let me know.
Yeah, right?
Right.
And if you find one with a penis and not a vagina, send him my way. Thank you so much.
I won't be looking that hard, Wendy. Sorry.
I know. That's the thing
Liar.
that sucks about having married friends. They're never looking out for you for like, they're never thinking, oh, we have a nice single friend. We should introduce him to Wendy. No one thinks about me like that, Beckett. Nobody cares.
Nobody wants to date somebody that lives in California, Wendy. Sorry.
Paradise, though. It's awesome.
I mean, that is true. it is. You sort of damned yourself by being in Cali.
I mean, there's so many chances that you are taking, like risks that you're taking by
Like
dating somebody in
earthquake.
California. Well, that, but you don't even know
Deportation.
what sex they are anymore.
Deportation, earthquakes. True, it is scary here. It is scary. So my youngest daughter, I have 3 kids, but my youngest daughter lives in Ohio, and every time I FaceTime her in the morning, it's raining there. Someone explain this to me. We won't see rain here until next year.
So the climate changes, you know, it's constantly in flux.
But I thought that's not real. I thought you people think that's not real.
No, we always said it's not man-made.
Oh.
If you think us little nothings can control anything that happens on this planet, then you have a God complex.
Speaking as somebody in the environmental sector, I have no opinions on this topic at all.
Well, I study. I'm a student of history, and so and naval to some extent. But when you see like the Northwest Passage in particular, that's the open waterway north of Canada that allows you to sail from the Atlantic to the Pacific and back and forth. It's been frozen over and thawed and frozen over and thawed for the last 300 years, which leads me to believe, and that was before, automobiles and all of this stuff. That leads me to believe that there is constant fluctuation just in recorded history before automobiles and man-made whatever. That's my thoughts.
Sure. I mean, okay. So what I'll say is this, and
He's just humoring me.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, it's one of those where
listen, stupid.
I would never call anyone stupid for their opinions. It's like we've measured things for a very, very long time. And I think what I'd say is this. What we're noticing is changes outside of what we would expect to be experiencing, and we're noticing those changes in a much more rapid fashion. And that's where the sort of issue lies. And as those kind of things have compounded, that's the sort of concern. But I mean, we've been talking about this since seriously talking about it since the 70s with things like the Rome Report. So we can track those things. But even somebody who lives in Britain, you can see the sort of rapid change in weather. It's not the more extremes, it's sort of the day-to-day things like just basic rainfall. But also, it's, I think, that's a good way to put it. There is an element there where you're swimming against a current of a lot of people on both sides. You've got sort of the one side where it's like, well, man-made climate change isn't a thing, or et cetera, et cetera. You've got the other side of the world is ending and we need to, prepare for the end of the world, and both are unhelpful. But it is quite interesting. What somebody pointed something out to me recently, which is, do you remember it used to be reduce, recycle, reuse?
Yeah.
Have you noticed how it's just recycle now?
Oh, I hadn't noticed till you said it, but now I'm.
Is that an economic development?
It's because recycle is fine for this is the theory. Recycle is fine for corporations, but reduce and reuse isn't, because they can't sell you products if you're on reduce and reuse.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking. Interesting. Yeah, they can't. Now, when you go back to the 70s, since this is your industry, do you recall the term global cooling being thrown around?
I do.
And then it was global warming, and then now it's climate change. Why has there been such a change in the terminology?
I think partly, and again, I'm not an expert on sort of the linguistic choices. I think some of it's just trying to find the best ways to communicate these things, which can be a challenge. Because they get
global
twisted.
cooling and global warming seem to me to be polar opposites of each other.
Right. I'd have to look at kind of where that because I've always had it as global warming, I suppose, or nowadays climate change. But there was a long period of just trying to get, I don't know, a kind of linked up way of talking about things. Like there's a really interesting H-bomb video talking about the way people like use the data in particular ways. So one of them was talking about an ice sheet growing, for example, and if you look at the wider data of that ice sheet, it's like it's grown a tiny amount, and it's in comparison to every other ice sheet declining. So to an extent, people are going to see what they want to see. And at the same time, it's like, well, realistically speaking,
yeah, 30% of statistics can be manipulated to say anything you want, right?
Yeah, absolutely, of course. I always thought it was 25 personally.
I heard 80.
25.
I heard 80.
I suppose it's one of those where, like, I've said this before to because I deal with both sides, and I've got friends who are very the world's going to end, like the sort of like apocalyptic view. And, I remember a while ago, one of my friends said to me, we need to do anything we can to stop climate change. I was like, well, would you be prepared to invade China and India and send them back to the Stone Age? I said, well, of course not. Colonialism is bad. I was like, okay. Well,
then you're not willing to do anything.
Yeah, it's like you're not prepared to stop development. It's like even if you're net zero, you're against countries that aren't. And it's like kind of the data out of Australia is really interesting. Australia looks very neutral carbon-wise because they don't account for their exports of coal. Well,
that's like, we have paper straws now because there's so many of them plastic floating in the ocean, but most of it comes from China.
Yeah,
that's the sort of thing.
And I can almost guarantee
we look
you're
better.
not going to convince China to recycle. You know what I mean? Like they don't care. You can't do much when the largest populations on the planet.
I have faith in the Chinese people.
I bet you do.
That's only because you don't know if Panama is going to work out for you.
Exactly.
Exactly. Got to keep my options open.
I'm with Colt Anime Girl. She's like, look, if the world's going to end while I'm still alive, I just hope I'm one of the ones. The first one's gone. I need air conditioning. Me too.
Yup. It's been so hot the last like 2-3 weeks here. It's been unbearably hot.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in an air conditioned boat and I'm tossed between letting it keep running because it's kind of noisy and then turning it off. But it's so hot.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, you're okay. As far as
that's
sound.
good.
Yeah, we can't hear it.
All right. Okay, then I'm going to not complain about it.
Well, we talked about this before. I know I'm not bunker worthy, so I definitely can't live past I feel like I live in an area that's probably going to get nuked quickly anyway. Like I think we'll melt fast, so I don't have to worry about it. But like, kids in the Midwest, I'm kind of worried about them, so I got to figure out what to do with them first. But
well, I know that Valhalla and I both have go bags ready to go. Beckett, do you?
Oh, absolutely.
I do too, but I'll be melted, so it won't matter.
Do I have a go bag ready to go?
Yeah.
No, I live in the UK, so we don't really do go bags here. And where would I go?
Right.
That's
to the next county over. Like
Right.
lives on a big island, Dave. Big island.
Yeah.
Where in the UK are you?
I can't answer that question. I might get deported to America from it.
You don't want to get stuck here. Our food is good, though. I have to say, hi.
Food is good. Yeah, the food's good. Oh, damn.
I've been to Great Britain, and I will say that our food is it's very good.
I mean,
I think what she's trying to say is your food sucks.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
what she's
She's not being very subtle about it.
I quite like fish and chips, but that's about it.
Fish and chips is good. Oh, it's got a rotating thing. That's cool.
I so love when they actually do things. Like, I'm so excited for this.
How cool is that?
That's pretty cool.
Pull it up full screen.
You know what? I'm going to build
Wendy.
a secret room now. Oh, sorry, David.
Wendy's
What?
ignoring me.
I'm sorry. There
we go.
There we
It's got
go.
like a
Sorry.
little. Ah, I love a little rotation.
Clever.
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
so cool.
How cool is that? It's got like hidden clues on it. That's nice.
I love it.
I like that. That's awesome.
That's good.
Okay.
I have
It's a simple thing.
motors and like a spring-loaded thing going on here, but I have no idea how it's going to end up working. I have a giant motor here. I have a motor here, and then I have a control unit here, and I don't know what it's going to end up doing. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so you see, I got wires hanging out.
Oh my gosh.
And then
That's
there's a
really
motor.
cool.
This is a motor, and then there's a control unit right here.
I mean-
You're going to find out that big piece you were randomly holding was.
I know, right? It's your switch. It's your on and off switch.
Oh, what is that now? Who's texting me? Don't you know I'm streaming?
So yeah, I mean,
everyone I know is right here on the stream.
So, Beckett, how long do you think you could survive in a zombie apocalypse or in some sort of end of world?
Why is it always got to be zombies?
Yeah, why is it? Yeah, zombies are like. I don't know, how long could I last?
Yeah. Or, some other how about like a more of a proper scenario, like a realistic one, like, a world war or something?
I think I'm quite realistic. I think I'd probably die quite quickly.
Not a whole lot of faith, huh?
Well, I mean, the question is, do you want to survive the end of humanity?
Right. I don't. No, thanks.
I'm a curious person. I kind of want to see what happens.
I mean, listen, I like seeing what happens, but I like seeing it from a distance.
Yeah, like watching a documentary when it's all over.
Yeah.
Like
I'm not sure I like the idea of, hey, would you like to live through? Like, I think depending on what type of apocalypse it would be,
yeah,
it depends how well I do. I could probably grow food.
Mm.
I don't know how I deal with things like blights. I've got no problem like obviously I don't have guns, but I can probably use a bow and catch things. I could probably fish, depending on how bad.
Maybe like a spear or something.
Yeah.
Are you not allowed guns? You're not allowed guns in the UK at all, like normal people.
We can get guns. It's like it's not as bad as people think. It's quite easy to get a hold of a crossbow.
Oh,
that's not a gun.
Okay, well, I mean, it's a thing that fires things, and then things fall over, and you can eat them. It's effective. It's fine. Okay.
This is.
And
I'm missing a piece.
yeah, I think the main thing would be like shelter, right?
Well,
how would you deal with
Shelter's a big one. Kind of
clean
important.
water? That's my question.
well,
How would you deal with
especially
clean
where
water?
you live, like you don't have nice weather. You would get cold, I would think, and wet. It's very wet.
It's not as wet as it used to be.
How did the
true.
Vikings survive?
Things have warmed up now.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think the question is how well, like water, clean water, food, shelter. Those are like the cool things, right?
Food, water, shelter. Yeah, those are the important ones.
Do you think that? Do you think you'd end up being taken out by raiding parties?
Me? No, I'd be fine.
Not Valhalla.
No, I'll be fine.
David.
They would try.
Yeah, all they would do is give me more bullets. That's what they would do. I mean, I've got literally enough food to feed, me and half my neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like between all the critters I've got, and if it really got serious, I'd start growing vegetables, and
For sure.
I've got a pond in the back. You boil
I mean, you
water.
could live off meat for a really long. You don't. I mean, scurvy's fine. I'm gonna,
something's going on.
Yeah, I got persimmon trees. I've got walnuts.
Right?
That'd be fine.
Something screwed up here.
I don't have a pillar. I'm missing a pillar.
So Shax, I don't know if you live in the States, but most people in the areas where Valhalla and David live, they all have that kind of stuff. So that's very common in America for like crossbows and guns and weapons and things to take care of lots of animals to feed off of.
I will never run short on eggs, although I will eventually run out of chickens because they got rid of the roosters.
You got rid of all the roosters?
That was short-sighted.
Yeah.
What happens if there's an apocalypse tomorrow? What are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Steal a rooster?
I would be
I'm gonna go back to the Chinese guy and get my roosters back.
I couldn't live without eggs. That's one food I think I wouldn't want to live without eggs.
They're a superfood. Eggs,
right?
Eggs go
They're
a long
amazing.
way.
There's good fat in there. It'll keep you going for a long time.
Lots of protein, good cholesterol.
You can eat them raw, especially if they're fresh from your own chickens. You're not going to die from that. You're not going to get sick.
Correct.
What the hell,
man? I figured out what I did wrong.
So Valhalla in the UK, they don't even put them in the refrigerator in the store. It's so cool. You just
they don't in Europe because they don't wash them.
Yeah, they don't.
So
why would you wash the eggs?
So here's how this works. In the US, somewhere back in the day, the agriculture people decided that we had to wash our eggs before we sold them in the supermarket. Eggs have a natural protective coating on them when they're laid called bloom. And it prevents, because eggs are actually really porous, so it prevents bacteria and the like getting through the porous eggshell. It's a natural protective coating that does it for us. But sometime in the U.S., we decided that we didn't like chicken poop on our eggs, so we decided that we had to wash them all, which washes off the bloom and makes them susceptible to bacterial infections. So we have to keep ours refrigerated unless my chicken lays them. Yeah, unless you have a chicken that lays them yourself, then they can just go on the counter.
Yeah, they just sit out. Although we have taken to put them in the refrigerator because we don't eat a ton of eggs, and sometimes they go bad. We don't wash them. We just put them in the special rack in the refrigerator, and then we wash them when we pull them out. So we get double. We keep the bloom on and the refrigerated. But that's just because we don't eat enough of them. Quickly enough, they go bad.
Somebody asked in chat, what would you all miss, like food wise? Like something that you think you probably couldn't get after an apocalypse. Twinkies are going to outlive us. What are you talking about?
No shit.
You would be able to get new ones, but you could go find them.
Contrary to popular belief, they do have a shelf life.
It is 20 years, though.
45 years.
Well, I plan on living longer than that.
I do love a Twinkie. I haven't had one of those in 20 years. I don't know when the last time I had a Twinkie was.
What would I miss? God, that's a good question.
I would definitely miss fast food. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit addicted to junk food.
I might miss a Baconator from Wendy's. That might be it.
I would miss.
But you guys can make those. You got to make a Twinkie? You can make bacon and a hamburger.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Although the meat won't be any good anymore. The meat's gonna all be contaminated.
I would miss YouTube and Cope and C's channel.
If there was like nuclear stuff. Maybe not where you live, Val. Depending on where you live, I guess.
I'd miss Twitter. I like Twitter. I think Twitter's just such an insane shit show all the time. I definitely miss it.
It is such a shit show. It's amazing. Like I was on it back in 2010, 2011 for the first time ever. And I was really just tweeting about keeping community on the air. And then I just sort of forgot about it until like 2021, 2022. And there was just so much going on. I had no idea. The level of depravity that goes on Twitter is just amazing.
Thank you for the super chat, Shell. Shell says, I would without a doubt miss coffee in an apocalypse. Well,
Coffee,
if it happens, if you're in Colombia or Costa Rica or something, you'll have all kinds of coffee beans. So I guess you could probably make your own.
I guess you could.
Yeah. And then cool anime. Thank you for the
Did you
super
guys
chat.
know-
Ask Beckett about Twinkies and red Jello. Sorry, she says.
I have no idea
Ooh,
what
red
that
Jell-O.
means. Red
Twinkies
Jello?
and red
What,
Jell-O.
like jelly?
Do you mean jelly?
don't know.
Like
No,
jam?
Jello is different than jelly.
Yeah, Jello is American, but cool anime.
I have a feeling
girls-
Beckett. This is an inside joke that Beckett doesn't want to share. That's my thing.
No, I think he's genuinely.
No,
not
I'm genuinely
confused.
confused.
Hi, T-Rex. Oh my
Twinkies
gosh.
and red
So
Jell-O.
T-Rex, y'all. So Rexy is so cool. David was streaming. He did I thought it was an impromptu live because he didn't tell me about it. Anyway, he was doing this live I think a week ago or so. And there was like a truck driver on trial or something, or doing a deposition or something. And Rexy's a semi-truck driver. So I said, Rexy, can you go in the chat and educate us? So he told us stuff we didn't know. Thank you for that, babe.
Yeah, that was awesome. Added some nice, definitely needed commentary to the deposition. Yeah, that guy was insane. He just answered every question with the absolute wrong answer.
I know
it was highly
it
entertaining.
was almost like he was fake. It was almost like not real. King
Yeah,
Bob-
everyone was thinking like this is staged, this is scripted. I was like, no, this is
But
really
sometimes
not.
some
This is-
people really are that dumb. You give
Yeah.
them enough rope. King Bob says, "Can coffee grow in the States? Does anyone know?" I actually don't know the answer to that. I know it can grow in
I
Hawaii.
don't think it does.
I don't know about the continental states, but in Hawaii, it's quite prolific. It's quite good.
They
there.
do grow it in Kona. It's pretty
It's yum,
world
right?
famous.
Oh, the Jello is a commentary reference called for somebody called Echo of Tragedy, who was a gooner who at one point posted pictures of a jar of Jello, which he had imprinted.
Oh no.
What is a gooner?
Is that like a furry?
It's somebody who is sexually charged, shall we say.
Or like a furry, but not in the costume?
Someone who's very into pornography.
Oh, like addiction almost. Like Theo Vaughn, like that kind of?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Is Theo Vaughn addicted to sex?
He's addicted. He's like, every time he streams, he says how long he's been porn free. Like he has an addiction to porn.
Wow,
That's according to him. I don't know him. I've never met him. I am a big fan of comedy, and I'm missing the Gary Owen concert tonight. I just want to say, because I really did not want to miss that.
No, what's the wrong with that addiction? That's what I want to know.
Pornography?
I don't know.
I think it
I
rots
don't know
your
that
brain,
much
doesn't
about
it?
that kind of stuff.
I think being addicted to anything is probably not a
Right?
great idea.
Right.
Like moderation is the key, folks.
Right.
It's how you prevent blisters.
I'm actually really pleased with how that's coming on. That's pretty good.
That thing looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it finished.
And I don't know what kind of lighting you have, but it also looks like there's lights from the inside. The way it shows up on your camera, it's lovely. That's really cool. I love that.
That's really cool.
I like it.
I think this is one I saw in YouTube Shorts, and I was just like, "Oh, I love that. That seems."
Aw,
cool.
Shaq says, "Not if you're addicted to Jesus, to Jesus. That's not bad." She says.
There you go.
Right.
There's no Jesus here.
I think Jesus is everywhere. I think that's the what they would say, the people that follow Jesus. Yeah.
Probably.
I'm not getting into any of that conversation.
Right.
Just like,
as a matter of fact, I have a much more benign question. I have a much more benign question to ask Beckett. And if it's inappropriate, you can tell me that's inappropriate, Wendy. Shut up. Have you ever gone a day without wearing underwear?
A day? I went 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, as in going about my normal thing, or did I just
Yeah.
like spend an entire day in bed, just like?
No, I think like a normal day, like if you had to go out in public and like go. To
No, I
business.
don't think so. I think
No,
otherwise
really?
it's
Okay.
mental. Yeah.
Gotta live more, Beckett.
I'm a little disappointed, actually.
What? Like,
Is it harder for
I
boys
like
to
be
go without
comfortable.
chonies than girls?
It's like, don't you want to be comfortable? Give yourself a bit of support.
So
Oh,
I
Well,
stopped.
the least
boys need
amount
it
of
for support.
clothing is the most comfortable.
I stopped wearing underwear for like literally like a decade, like 15
Yeah,
years.
I don't think
and
my
it started in Iraq. Like Iraq was just too hot. I'm not wearing underwear. I'm over it. And then I just never put them back on again.
They don't make you wear panties for your uniform.
They're not
Panties?
checking.
Sorry.
They're not checking.
Oh, really?
They're not checking. All right. Yeah.
No.
Because
Well, although I wouldn't
ahead.
necessarily assume that. I could see where they would be checking.
Right? Same. I would think that too.
Yeah. You're out of uniform, sir.
Right? I mean, that's the way the movies make it look like. They check everything.
Yeah, not your underwear.
What if you're like? What if you need? Like, what if you're wearing a kilt?
Ooh,
A
that's
kilt?
wild.
Well, then you definitely don't wear underwear.
Yeah, then you're definitely not in uniform.
I wouldn't mind a kilt.
I want a kilt.
Beckett, do you wear kilts?
I don't wear kilts.
I think it's a crock that
Well,
men
you
don't
look
get to
hot.
wear dresses, because when I'm like dressed up formally and
Don't you feel
and
good?
like and it's hot as hell and I'm sweating, and then my wife walks in a nice little like flowy dress, and like, man, I wish to have that air movement.
I would rock a
Pretty
kilt.
nice.
I would totally rock a kilt.
I think you would too, Valhalla. You already look
Needs
like
to be more socially acceptable for men. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Kilts all around.
Okay, I can see that argument.
Right.
What about like a toga?
Hmm.
I have worn a toga.
I believe you.
I think there's nothing under the kilt. That's what I've heard.
I wouldn't wear anything under the kilt. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to wear anything under the kilt.
I heard it's like
sort of
not
defeats the argument that I was making.
right.
All right. So a toga? Yeah, I'm good with the toga.
That's a good question. Hmm.
I feel like the toga is more formal, though.
More
have to,
formal?
No, I feel like a kilt's
Yeah.
very formal. No, I always Also,
Like,
I
I
feel
can
like
see a requirement that all attorneys must wear some sort of like toga in the court. I could see that.
right, instead of
Do
those
you,
wigs that they wear in the UK with that the judges wear the wigs, you would wear
Well,
a toga.
I was gonna say it's not just judges. I mean, barristers have to wear wigs.
They sure
and robes.
do.
Yeah, everyone does.
Sure do.
Yeah,
Australia's the same.
Even the
yeah?
women.
You think it's all
have
the
to wear the wigs.
Commonwealth countries do that? Maybe. Beckett,
that's
I
where it
know.
came
I think
from
we talked
anyway.
about this before, but are you a royalist or no?
I do like the royals. That
Yeah. Okay. I
the
thought
royals
so.
are good.
What are your thoughts on Meghan?
My thoughts on Meghan. This is gonna get me in trouble. I might get deported. No, I think that if you marry into the royal family, you are marrying into a role. And it's very important to recognize that you're marrying into a role.
Agree with that.
No, she clearly is not recognizing that. Should she be booted? Well, she's already booted herself, essentially. But do you think Harry should be just like looking to divorce her and getting rid of that and moving on?
No, I think it's fine to, like, if you look through history, plenty of kings and princes have all sort of like essentially gone, I'm not really into this whole being a royal thing. Bugger this. And I think that's fine. But I think if you're walking away from that, you're walking away from it. You can't complain. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense to me.
to me.
Oh, yeah, you can't complain and be like, but we should still be a part of it. But you,
I mean, even in a normal
person's
person's life, like even in our normal lives, just us normal civilian people, when you marry somebody, you marry the whole family. You don't just marry that person. So we all marry into a family. And if you can't respect that family, you shouldn't be marrying that family. That's how I feel.
Yeah. There's been accusations that I heard that Meghan has essentially tried to blackmail the king by saying you are not going to be able to see your your grandkids, unless or until you do X, Y, and Z. Have you heard about this at all?
I haven't heard those accusations, but I mean, I think things are quite tense, to say the least.
Apparently, they had a little summit. Meghan and King Charles.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Well, their people did.
Yeah, I can believe
I'm just glad she's your problem now and not ours anymore.
No, she's living here.
She's in America. She's your issue, not mine.
Yeah, we just don't care, though. That's the thing. We don't care.
Have you watched her show on Netflix, Beckett?
I mean, to be honest, I think most Americans at this point would choose the royal family over her anyway. Like, we're not blaming her.
I think I said this the last time I came on. I mean, imagine if you guys had just paid your taxes and how much better things would be for you.
Yeah, we could all be pretending crossbows were guns.
Yeah. You'd be much happier. You'd be much happier. I think really Americans just create their own misery a lot of the time. That's the biggest thing for you.
Like
that's part of the U.S. experience.
Right? like a teenager with angst, right? Like, screw you, so I'm gonna go do my own thing.
Yeah, and it's working out really well for you guys, yeah.
A few bumps in the road, to be expected.
To be expected, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. I think that actually, I mean, we talk about this. Do you think there's been a breakdown in the special relationship between America and the UK?
Ooh,
that's a good question.
That is a good question.
I definitely don't think it is as strong as it has been in the past, but I also don't think we've needed it to be as strong. When I say we, I mean both countries have needed it to be as strong as it has been in the past. Like, there's nothing seriously, there's little squabbles and stuff, but there's nothing really major going on right now where that relationship is absolutely necessary. And I also think that if it ever becomes necessary, that we'll be back in chummy again. That's my thought.
Okay, I can see that. Do you think Trump damaged the relationship between America and Canada by threatening to essentially invade?
According to the Canadians, 100%. According to Canadians, I don't know.
I think, if I'm being honest, I think Canada needs to slow their roll a little bit anyway. I think Canada has been pretending like they're more influential than they are for quite some time now.
I have not, just from a citizen to citizen relationship standpoint, I have not noticed any issues. I mean, from person to person, I don't know whether the countries stand with each other. Other than the tariffs, some things are like when we sail on the Great Lakes and we want to sail the Canadian waters. Some of that was a little tense for a little bit, but everything sort of straightened out within a few months. So now we can sail in Canadian waters again, and we don't have to report as long as we don't drop an anchor, pick up anybody or go ashore.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sort of back to normal again. But for a minute, it was like, ooh, can we go into Canadian waters? I don't know. But I think it's kind of settled down. So no, I don't think so. There's been really no breakdown or change.
By the way, Trial Junkies United disagrees with me and says that they don't believe that everyone marries a family. In the royals, they say yes, but in normal people, it's different. Thank you for your comment.
Do you believe you marry into a family, Beckett, in general?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I do too.
I think that if you're marrying a partner who is not close to their family, so for instance, I have very little relationship with my mother's side of the family, and after her death, it's nothing. So like, I don't think it would be the case there. There's been no expectations there. But if you marry somebody who's got a very strong family relationship, I think absolutely you're marrying
for sure.
family.
Also, I might argue that especially historically, that might be one of the reasons to get married versus just date.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like
it's
you've got to build
creating
alliances
those
and
unions. Yeah.
you're building bloodlines and alliances and legal connections and moral connection, all those
I got a
things,
gear
right?
going.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I got
Do that again, David.
gears. I've got a gear going. I
Cool.
said.
Love it.
Got Technics going on here. I'm excited for this build.
So is Mrs. MLS done with all of her errands in Panama, and she's now inside the boat with you and hanging out?
Yeah, she's just hanging out across the way, doing her own thing, listening to me babble on.
So Scott, why is stuff going to hit the fan next week? Tell me what's going on. Does anyone know what Scott's talking about?
What's next week?
I don't know. I'm hoping Scott's going to tell us. We're just going, Scott? Question mark. Don't be so cryptic, Scott. Dish. We're here to dish.
Why isn't this engaging?
I would argue that marrying into a lack of connection is still marrying into a family. Good point. You're right.
Yeah, I just think that if it's like you're still marrying into a family and you're making your own, it's just like you don't have the same. I mean, you get the other side. You know, like I know people who've told stories about like they married into they married somebody and they've got no connection with their family, but the person they've married into tries to like rebuild that connection and causes a load of problems. And I'm like, you know, you should probably.
Oh, that sounds horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Know your place, too, in the family.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. That's a really big one.
Where the hell did this piece come from? I just had a piece fall off, and now I don't know where it came from. Oh, this is horrible. Lego is hard. Oh, no,
It is.
Hard.
That's why I don't get any that are over 8 years of age. Mine. I stop at the 8 years. I almost go to the Duplo when I'm at the Legos.
Know your limits, Wendy. Know your limits.
I do. I really do. I think I'm really good at knowing my limit.
Yeah, I'm genuinely enjoying this one. I think it's really cool.
I like how it's like gadgety. You know, it's like magical or something.
Yeah, it's got like lots of little hidden bits to it because there's a couple of Book Nook ones, and like one of them was like a Harry Potter one, and I was like, I don't really fancy that. It's cool.
That's the one that I have.
I like
Is it
it.
good?
Harry Potter one.
I have the Harry Potter one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the Harry Potter one good? Is there much to it?
There's like a little secret fireplace and so I mean, unless you're a fan of the movies, it's probably not the coolest thing ever. But I like it. I got it for Wendy. There was a push for me to do a bunch of Harry Potter stuff at one point.
Wait, here's my.
Yeah, I think you were working on Hogwarts the last time I was on, right?
This is what David.
That was me. I think that was me. Did you do the Hogwarts mini castle?
Yeah, I did that too.
David sent me the Up Lego set.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that quite? I love it. It's really cool.
Speaking of, I just watched a documentary about the real life Up. This like 8-year-old kid that went into a balloon his dad launched. Yes, that was quite a crazy ass story. Did you guys ever hear about that story?
Yeah.
Is that the one with the lawn chair?
No,
it wasn't a lawn chair.
This guy wanted to launch like he was making like it's like a weather balloon style thing. It looked like a UFO, and his kid crawled into it. But there was claims that the whole thing was like he'd encouraged the kid in afterwards, and that he was like an irresponsible parent.
Yeah, they claimed that he was doing it as a publicity thing. He was on a reality
I remember
show
something
called
about
Voice
this. I remember something about that.
Is this an
and he ended
old
up pleading
story?
guilty to falsifying a police report.
God damn it.
Yeah.
His son was being interviewed as part of the show, and he was like, "Yeah, I legitimately just hid up in the attic." And then the other son, who said, "I think the one son is in the balloon," said, "No, I legitimately thought he was in the balloon." So I don't know if there's
King Bob said it was all a scam.
Yeah, that was sort of the since he pled guilty to perpetrating a scam. So I don't know. It was just weird. But They kept referencing. I don't remember this in the news article. They kept referencing Up, which is apparently a movie that came out just a few months prior to all of this.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if, well, maybe that inspired him.
Now, isn't that what Rob, the lumber from Lawn Lumber, didn't he build a Lego from Up?
He did flowers.
Yes, he both. No, he did the Up house.
I think he did the Up house.
He did. He just talked about don't do the flowers because they're too complicated.
Yeah. Because he had already tried to build flowers for his wife, I think, or something, or his fiance or something. He was talking about. Yeah.
Got it.
Why is it?
Up is a good movie. I've heard good things about that movie. Yeah, Rob did that one. That's right. Half Irish. I saw Half Irish in his chat last night. He talked about Lego. I tried to send it to David and Valhalla. I sent them the stream last night that Rob was talking about us for on his stream on his Friday night stream last night, and David texted me at 7:00 this morning and says that stream ended hours ago. I'm like, yeah, I sent it to you hours ago.
Do you know Rob Lawn Lumber? Beckett?
Sorry,
so
Beckett
would like him.
Are you familiar with Rob from Lawn Lumber?
I don't think so.
Oh,
he has a decent sized channel, but it only streams like once a week. He did a short, or not a short, but a small video during the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, where he demonstrated how Amber Heard's testimony regarding how the bed broke was just complete nonsense. It doesn't make sense physically with the properties of wood, and that video got like 1 million views within 24 hours or something in his channel.
He got something like 40,000 subs off that one video, like essentially overnight.
So here's my question with like the Amber Heard stuff, because obviously she won in the UK, and my understanding is it was off evidence that was kept out of the American trial. But what never made sense to me is this: the claim against Heard was defamation, which came from an article where basically she alluded to the fact that she'd been in an abusive relationship.
Right.
But in the trial, Depp essentially admits to the relationship in some way being abusive, even if it's toxic on both sides.
Perhaps. I don't think he admitted to it. He didn't admit to it being abusive. So in the United States, physical abuse and verbal abuse are not the same. It has to be a physical abuse. Okay. And so her statement was regarding being physically abused. And what he presented at trial was that he was not abusing her. She was abusing him. And it was a toxic relationship and they were yelling at each other. But physically, she was abusing him. And I think that's what he established during trial. So therefore, what she said in the article, under at least American law, was wrong. And therefore, it was defamation. The biggest thing with that particular trial was that the statement didn't name him specifically. Mm-hmm. So they had to establish sort of through circumstantial evidence that it actually applied to him and everybody knew that. And I think that's one of the issues that fell apart in the UK was that, as well as there was something different with regard to the malice that was required. I can't remember exactly what the difference is, but that's why she was able to win in the UK and she lost, or Depp lost in the UK and he won in the US.
Okay, that makes a bit more sense.
But that's essentially what. Yeah. So that's essentially what it was. But yeah, so Rob did this video during the trial and his channel blew up. And he's a nice guy. He's mainly practices. I don't know. Does he do family law? I can't remember what kind of law he practices.
I think it's family.
Yeah, I don't recall.
I'm not sure how this is supposed to work, but I'm going to assume it's all going to work out in the end. Does that sound like a plan?
I think that's a great plan.
That's how I live most of my life, Dave.
Aw.
That's vaguely how I'm building this, to be fair.
Okay. Because I feel like this little gear thing I pushed down here is supposed to be pushing up against the worm gear on the motor and should be engaging, but it's not. It's just free spinning.
Do you not have your app with you?
I do, but it's not the same type of plans. It's just basically a digital version of the book.
Of the written plan. Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh well. We'll see how it works out in the end. My
yeah,
lighthouse
spin
might
the
not
wall.
spin at the top.
Oh.
It's going to be the piece you're missing.
I can
My-
definitely get a view.
Cammy says,
definitely-
I would hate to be anyone on the receiving end of a hollow up punch, especially with that ring on. Girl, you aren't joking.
What ring?
His
Is that your high school graduation ring?
No.
He's always had that ring.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've noticed that. Let's see here. So, what else have you been covering, Beckett, besides the?
I'll be right back.
So, I've been watching the downfall of a creator called Not So Erudite, which is also attached to the Destiny stuff, which has been quite entertaining, I guess. She's sort of just been slowly crashing out as sort of her relevancy dies. She came to prominence, I guess, as somebody like talking about therapy stuff, and then turned herself into a Destiny groupie, and ended up like moving from Canada to America and started working with him.
If you can be anything in the world, why would you choose to be a Destiny groupie?
That is a very good question. So, I mean, I've said before, if I ever became like a full-time YouTuber, I'd feel like I'd failed somewhere. You know, like it's like there are so many other
I've made a
options.
mistake in my life.
Yeah, I don't really understand it, but yeah, I guess she's now sort of put herself in a position where she's desperately trying to rebuild credibility, and that's not going particularly well, as she sort of just gets mercilessly farmed for content, basically. So I've been covering her.
So you're definitely farming her for content.
Yeah, a little bit. I think that would be fair to say. There's also a commentary civil war just beginning. That's going to probably be quite long.
Commentary civil war in what like
What
genre?
space?
Yeah.
In the actual commentary community space. So Nicholas Diorio is obviously doing quite well, and he has sort of distanced himself and just focused on making content. But at the same time, there's a whole new host of younger commentary people who have been sort of gunning for older commentary people who he is friends with. And that's sort of just come to a head quite recently with basically he's being attacked by somebody else I know called Queeman. And now they're tweeting at each other, which has been interesting. We'll see how that goes. Oh, actually, one you might like. Do you know who Drew Pavlo is?
No.
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. Do you know who Cat Turd is?
Yes.
That one sounds familiar.
Okay, so Cat Turd is a professional tweeter. And basically...
Wait, that's a profession?
Apparently. God
Well,
knows
YouTube's a
why
profession.
or how. But basically, Drew Pavlov is like a left-wing version of Cat Turd, who everybody hates. And he started fighting with Nicholas Diorio, who's been, doing a lot of content on Ethan Klein. And basically, he claimed that the new Superman movie was anti-Semitic, which
Oh God!
everyone
Of course it was.
when
Well, now I'm definitely going to watch it.
Third, and makes no sense, but more power to you. He started arguing with Nicholas Diorio, tweeting about how important he was. He's a professional protester as well. He goes to protest professionally, and
Those people.
and then this sort of descended into him saying that Nicholas Diorio should bare knuckle box him because he was losing on Twitter. It's just
That all sounds amazing.
Doesn't it?
So I love Twitter. Twitter is just a disaster. Anyone who takes a statement made by somebody on Twitter as like serious or something that has to be dealt with is just a fool, and I'm all for it. Please keep it up.
Yes, I agree with you. So, what do you think of Elon's relationship with Trump disintegrating?
That's been interesting. That's been interesting.
That's been really interesting. Juicy.
Oh, it's so juicy. I wish we
I
knew
think
more.
Elon went into this thinking that Trump was going to do the legitimate thing like he said he was going to do with Doge, and then it all started off great, and then when that big beautiful bill came out and it didn't make the cuts that he said it was going to, Elon's not a politician, right? He doesn't know how the sausage gets made, right or wrong. He doesn't, and I don't think he anticipated, or does he like the fact that sometimes negotiations have to take place in politics. So he was like, no, fuck it, I'm out. And I think that's where they're at. Now, the fact that they're sniping at each other is, I find, amazing and awesome.
It's bizarre.
It's
well,
so
the
bizarre.
Elon tweet of Trump is in the Epstein files was very funny.
That was funny.
Yes.
That was
right.
absolutely
Yeah,
funny.
that was good.
I guess he came out pretty quick though. It was like, okay, I went a little too far on that one. Mea culpa.
Did he? I didn't see
I
that.
guess so. But
Well, I
nonetheless,
mean, Trump threatened to deport him. Like,
Yeah, that's why I don't say anything.
Wait, isn't he a U.S. citizen now?
well, I mean, in the current climate, is that going to help you? Like,
yeah, exactly. That's why I don't say
No.
no.
You can't deport U.S. citizens now.
Girl, happens.
But
It
is he a
doesn't
U.S. citizen? It doesn't-
he, I believe,
sure, actually.
holds a citizenship to Canada and the U.S., if I remember correctly.
What's her name? What doesn't Trump's wife have that like star visa or whatever it's called, like that? Whatever the best visa you can get, like the most desirable.
I thought she was a U.S. citizen.
Oh, I thought she.
Am I
I don't
wrong?
know.
She wasn't born a U.S. citizen. I know that.
No,
For
but
I
you
don't
can
know.
get U.S. citizen.
I'm pretty sure she's a citizen now, but I
Well, it doesn't matter anyway because he's going to stop that anyway. He's going to get rid of that.
Gonna
too.
stop what?
I thought he was saying even if you're born here, that's not going to count.
No, that's nonsense, Wendy. That's
I'm
something that
saying
your
what I heard.
California friends told you.
It must have
Don't
been on
listen to your
Fox.
California friends.
You've been watching
Yeah, okay.
Beckett shorts, haven't you?
Oh, she is.
I mean, this is the easiest time to spread misinformation. I might branch out.
No, it so is. No, but getting back to Elon, that was Elon. I feel like it has a similar personality to mine with regard to he likes, or even you, Beckett. Where like you're happily you're happy trolling people, and you'll say something out there on YouTube or Twitter to just to see what their response is, and Elon's like that, I feel, and so that's why his little snipes at Trump are out there, because he knows Trump's going to react the way Trump reacts. Right? That's my thought.
I can see.
Okay,
that.
I mean,
so
if you were in a position to troll Trump, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, but
that
he
sounds-
can't because he can't get deported. Chris says that Elon is South African. He has dual citizenship to the USA. Issue is he worked on a student visa, which violates the visa, so he should have been deported before he bought PayPal.
I'm not sure if he still has his South African citizenship. And I
I've
could be
been-
wrong on that, but I am 99% sure that he was a citizen of the U.S. and Canada.
Wow.
So you're telling me there's a chance you're wrong?
I could be wrong. I could be.
Oh yeah, he definitely said.
He's
I heard
South
him-
African, Beckett. He's one of yours. That's funny.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been interesting. It's been interesting in the homeland.
So what's UK's position on Elon?
Elon's always going to like sort of exist in this weird dimension because obviously he was a liberal darling for ages, and then he wasn't.
Okay, but here, So was Trump too.
Oh god, yeah.
Trump is a liberal.
Don't disagree with you.
Facts.
I mean, this is the thing. I think people twist with the wind, in my experience, and I think people liked Elon because they were like, he's saving the environment with electric cars. And I mean, I've never really had that opinion because I think that strip mining for rare materials is probably not saving the environment as much as people would like to think it is. But yeah, that's I don't think that image has really survived the current climate, really. It's sort of a bit of a struggle for him. But you know, it's not over till it's over. And if he turns hard on Elon, then on Trump, then he might recoup some of that goodwill potentially.
That was my first thought. Like his stock market or his stock value was crashing, and if he not only exits but then flamboyantly exits by trolling Trump on Twitter, that he could get some grace back from the liberals that used to love his cars, and maybe stop, trashing him and torching him.
Well, I think he's very sensitive, like, to that sort of stuff. I don't think he wants to admit it, but this, his public image obviously really matters to him. He's like
Elon, do you think?
Yeah, God, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
I think it matters less to him than it does his shareholders, right? Like, I think because he does some wild off the wall shit. Like, and if he was really that concerned with his public image, I think he'd be more in control of that. I think it's his shareholders and the CFO that get angry with them.
I don't know. I think it's difficult because what's a good way to put this? I think that he has very poor impulse control, and that's part of the problem. But if he didn't care, I don't think he'd do things like the Path of Exile stuff. Were you aware of this?
The what?
I'm not.
No.
Okay, so he basically paid somebody to play Path of Exile, the new Path of Exile game, to get him into like the top 1%, and then just lied that it was him playing it. And he was obviously lying because when he came to live stream it, he just didn't know how the game worked.
Oh,
so he never played it once.
Yeah, he just had no idea how to do anything. So he obviously wasn't in the top 1%. But you wouldn't do that unless you really cared that people kind of thought you were cool and hip. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Sure.
I didn't know about that.
Oh, it was really bad. The chat, his chat was basically, he didn't know how to silence whispers. So people were messaging him because they could publicly message his account live on stream saying you have no friends and you turned your daughter trans and she hates you and stuff like this.
Jesus.
It was brutal. He looked like a man drowning. That was the first time I felt sorry for him in a while. It was really bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, he might.
Good night, Chris.
I mean, everyone wants to be loved, even if they got fuck you money, right?
Well, yeah, it's one of those things. No matter how much money you have, you're still human, and people delude themselves into thinking, well, if you get the money, then you'll be fine. But I think there are a lot of miserable rich people. I
don't think money makes you happy. Money gives you the opportunity to do the things that make you happy, but you still got to be happy with the things that you do. And I don't know. I always seen him as fairly confident. I didn't know about the whole video game thing. And I'm trying to still puzzle out why he would care about the video game to begin with.
I think
he is a gamer.
Cool.
No, he likes video games.
But I think he wants to be seen as the best at them rather than just like someone who casually plays. Because I think he needs to be seen as the best.
It could be.
What do you guys think of JD Vance?
What about him?
Well, I mean, there's been some interesting memes about him.
He's a talking head. He's. You ever watch the TV show Community?
Yes, I love Community.
There's I'm sorry, not. Oh, I screwed that up. Not Community. Parks and Rec.
Yes, also love Parks and Rec.
Love that.
There's a season where Ben goes and works for a congressional campaign, and he meets the senator for the first time, and the senator's just like a robot that just says whatever is appropriate to say, and then when he's not given his talking points, he says these nondescript, non-offensive phrases. That's JD Vance. He says what he's told to say, and then in between he says these nondescript, random little phrases that that don't offend anybody, but more often than not he's going off of the script. That's my thought of JD Vance.
I'm not sure that I buy him as as
human?
MAGA as he as MAGA as he wants to. Yeah. I don't know.
He's playing a role. He's an actor. You can tell by the eyeshadow.
All politicians.
You guys notice the eyes? He's got eyeshadow on, and mascara. His eyes are weird. He's got to have makeup on.
Well, I heard a story. I don't know if this is true or how accurate this is. Apparently, there was somebody traveling from Europe who was detained and not allowed to enter the US because he had a meme of JD Vance on his phone.
What? That sounds made up.
Apparently, it's true. As I say, I don't know. But there are certainly a lot of memes of JD Vance with a tiny face on his giant head, looking like an angry baby.
So, I travel to foreign countries quite often. Yeah, Panama is one of them. But if I ever tried to go to a country and they're like, you can't get in because you got this or that on your phone or whatever. At the end of the day, I kind of have to respect their laws, I suppose, because it's not my country. I'm trying to get in there. So all these people that are upset that there's rules and things to get into the country. Now that one's dumb, and I don't believe that one actually happened. But just the fact that people complain about what they have to do to get into this country, I'm like, yeah, I have to do it every time I go to a foreign country. I have to make sure I abide by the rules, and there's a chance I might not make it in.
I'm gonna have to start getting a visa now just to go to anywhere in the EU. I'm like, what?
No, you don't.
Yeah, my mom said. Mm-hmm.
Your mom is wrong.
She travels 5 months a year. She's not even here. No, she said.
Okay, I don't have to get a visa to go into the EU.
Okay, maybe it's just her.
Well, yeah, when you're a foreign fugitive, yes, you do have to.
Yeah.
Legos have changed a lot, Tammy. This thing is ridiculous. This is 2,000 pieces. This is a lighthouse I'm building, and we've been going now for 2 hours and 17 minutes, and I'm only at the base.
Also, Tammy, you have to get a mortgage to pay for the Lego sets too.
Yes. Mine wasn't exactly cheap.
Right?
I feel like I'm talking less just because I'm really focused on building. Whereas the flower, I could just sort of go, yeah, this is fine. Now I'm just like I'm building something tiny. All of these things are tiny.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. Beckett, this is why I don't get anything that's over 9 years old. I like to stay at 8+. That's where I go.
8+ is Wendy's happy place.
It totally is. It totally is.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's certainly an interesting time for the US. So tell me, I mean, from the last time I was on, and you said briefly before we started, but the last time I was on, the Rakita stuff was happening.
Right.
And now the Rakita stuff is over. It's done, pretty much. But
pretty much. Even the lawsuit was dismissed, which is good for him. The lawsuit with what's his name?
Oh, that's great. Good news.
I don't remember his name.
I mean, what's happening to Aaron?
The defamation lawsuit.
Oh, with Monty. Monty,
yes, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's done with now.
Is it okay, so is Aaron going to prison? Because I believe I heard something about this.
Well, he went to jail.
Okay.
He went to jail for a night or a day or whatever. No, he's not going to jail. This is the thing: is everyone is so dramatic on YouTube. They're going to prison. They're going to jail. Nobody does. The vast majority of people don't go to jail or prison or anything. They go for a night, maybe, while they're
David's
waiting
been
to be
telling
arraigned.
us this from the
That's not-
beginning. Yeah.
Aaron's not going to prison. Aaron's not going to jail.
So
although
Aaron,
if he keeps
if I
acting up, he might get
recall-
some sanctions.
If I recall, isn't he in trouble for kind of some revenge?
Yeah, it was like revenge pornography or something.
Yeah, the same thing like
It's not
Destiny, showing pictures to people.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know. I
Yeah,
haven't kept up with
he's
that
basically
aspect of it
distributing
at all.
nudes without the consent, and so he was charged with that criminally, and then apparently the judge decided that the things he was talking about his own case on his show, and that the judge considered was a violation of the bond restrictions.
Right.
And so then they locked him up until he could post bond. So he did spend some time in jail. He supposedly only had a plea, though, where he was going to do like community service and pay $50. I would imagine that that's still on the table. And based off of what I've heard, I don't watch his streams very much. I've caught a few of them. He hasn't been talking about it going forward. So if he plays it cool, he's going to end up getting his $50 fine and his probation and move on. So he's not going to go to jail. I don't think.
And you think Nick's probably fine then long term?
Nick is fine long term if he stays clean. You know, I don't judge anybody for having drug problems. I'd like to see them get the help that they need. I think it's clear from what Nick has said and from what the allegations were that Nick had a drug problem. And drugs are nasty. Drugs, you know, I had some teeth extracted a number of years ago, and they gave me some prescription medication. And I'm not one, you know, I'm still sitting here with my first drink, but that stuff made you feel good, and you instantly wanted more. So I don't judge anybody with the drug addiction.
So it is a good
I
nice
instantly
try.
wanted more. And if I was the type of person to be like, I'm gonna go ask the doctor for more meds, which I'm not
You
either.
could have.
So I didn't, but I could have, and I could easily see going down that road. So I don't judge people for that. They just got to accept it, whether they accept it publicly or privately. I don't care. The private one is the important one, right? And move on from it. I think he'll be fine. His show is doing, you know, it's not.
And
the numbers
Americans
that he
love
had
a
before.
redemption story. Like we do.
I do
love
too.
that.
I said him and Chris Chan. I'm watching those two guys
Yeah.
closely. I watch all their streams, both of them.
So
They're
Beckett,
like
if you could have a
they're
superpower,
soul bonded now.
They're soul bonded. Yeah, the wonders of the dimensional merge.
Yeah, well, Chris Chan and Ricada are soul bonded now, and I do want a Sonichu medallion. If anyone out there is listening, I want a Sonichu medallion so I could be soul bonded with them as well.
David also just likes medallions. Like he likes like shields and like, you know, like remember when Torin got that his shield or whatever it was called, his like a badge or whatever. David likes that kind of stuff.
I do. I'm all about the hardware.
Right. I like challenge coins. I like that kind of. I like medals. I like things like that.
So what are your thoughts on Ricada, Beckett? Shit.
I think
Did you break it, Paul?
It's just.
I think Nick is in a very odd position in that he was a very big YouTuber, very popular. He was very popular with the farms, which is a very.
Is that a good thing, though?
It's a dangerous position to be in.
No, I don't. I mean, I've said this before. I think the
king of the retards, right?
Well, when you're dealing with the farms, my general position has always been it should be either apathy or vague dislike. It's bad if the farms hate you, and it's bad if the farms like you, because if they hate you, then it's bad because they'll constantly go for you. And it's like, okay, cool, you've got to deal with that. But if they like you, eventually you will fuck up, and if you handle that badly, they'll eat you. And I think that, you know, there was a point during that drama where Nick was talking about, like Sean, I think, talking about him on the farms and stuff, and it's just, that's a nasty position to put yourself in if you kind of fall. So yeah, that's rough. I don't know what it looks like for Nick long term, if I'm honest. I don't know how you recover from something like this. And he seems to be doing much. He seems to not really be doing law stuff very much. Is that fair?
He did stream some of the Karen Reed trial. We were talking about Karen Reed before. Yeah. He did stream some of that. So I will say that. Whether or not it wasn't comprehensive coverage. He just sort of like jumped into it because after his criminal case was resolved, he was like, I'm going to do some law stuff. Oh, Karen Reed is starting. I know nothing about it. Let's stream it. So it wasn't the best coverage because he didn't really know that he knew that this was the second trial, but he hadn't watched the first one. He was embroiled in his own stuff.
He was busy
doing the first one.
Understandable.
Yeah, he was busy. So he didn't really have a lot of the insight that other streamers did, other law tubers did, and were able to provide. So I don't think his audience was that big. And that might have persuaded him to not continue to do more legal things and go into more of the pop culture and political stuff again.
Well,
I don't know.
He said
That's
in the
my
past
thought.
that he really doesn't like doing the law stuff. Like it's I know it's not his preferred the trial coverage rather.
Well, it sounds like he's going to
get trial coverage. Yeah,
do more of what he loves. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, it's weird as well because he was, the money he made off Rittenhouse and some of the other stuff. I mean, that's sort of generational wealth, and that seems to have been eaten up, which is, I think, surprised a lot of people.
Well, drugs are expensive, man.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I don't know how much he made, but I know he made a lot off of it.
It was an awful lot.
Yeah, but imagine how much taxes he had to pay. I'm obsessed with taxes right now. Because that's all I do. I just feel like it's all I do is pay taxes. It's literally all I do.
Do you think the hate? Do you think the hate level that Rekieta is justified, Beckett? What I mean by maybe from some other members of the community, not just like YouTubers in general, or just people in general.
People love a downfall story. Certainly. Hate is an interesting question.
Because I feel like there is a level of hate, not just like, oh, whatever, we're gonna laugh at him. There's a level of hate, I feel.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think there is certainly an element there where it's like, justified. No, I think people's overinvestment in things is always a bit weird. Is the story fascinating to kind of watch the downfall of? Yes, absolutely.
Certainly.
I think it was just incredible to watch unfold. Especially for those of us who've been following Rekieta for a long time, but also had the drop off when he wasn't doing trial stuff. So I followed Rekieta through the Rittenhouse stuff, Amber Heard, all these kind of things. And then when this was happening, I was like, wait, he has a Baldo stream? What is this? Like, this seems a surprise.
I thought we all did. What are you talking about?
seems amazing. Okay. So
it's one of my most viewed videos, actually.
I think that's going to capture people in a particular way, especially when you've got an audience that's got more of a, shall we say, traditionalist bent. Are you guys familiar with Jack Murphy?
Yeah.
No.
So I'm actually working. I'm actually working on a Jack Murphy video at the moment.
Outstanding.
Because I realize that a lot of people have forgotten this lore and story, and it's fascinating.
Oh, the Jack Murphy thing.
Give me a preview.
Yeah, give it. I'm googling it right now, but tell
Jack Murphy.
Let me tell you the story. Go on, Valhalla.
Go ahead.
No, please. I love hearing it from other people. Please.
So he was part of like the brosphere, right? Where he was, you know, the alpha male and encouraging men. As long as you send me $7.99 on a monthly subscription, I'm gonna make you a better man, kind of shit. And then you know, the whole alpha male aspect was his thing. He was a big burly guy, big beard. He had a real distinguishable beard. Actually kind of looked a lot like mine, but mine's less gay. And he eventually got, you know, yeah, exactly. He eventually got some photographs emerged of him in very bendable positions with things that, you know, to each their own, but I would prefer to not have things in that area, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh.
And he had another article come out that he wrote a long time ago talking about how his wife is with another man, and that makes him a better man because he's so comfortable being a cuck, basically. It was very bizarre, and the fallout was wild.
That's a little rough. I remember that now.
There was a little more to it. Like he was on with Sydney Watson on stream, and she brought up a super chat, like you do, right? And it had something to do about that article that I was talking about, and he lost his damn mind. He was cussing her, cussing the audience. He got up, stormed out, and the fallout was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So yeah,
what I do off the top of my dome.
He was okay. So yes, that is a lot of it, and essentially he had a very big presence with Tim Pool, and he ran something called the Liminal Order, which was a kind of like
the Seminal Order.
Yeah, it's like it was like a red pill kind of. I'll teach you how to be a real traditional man kind of thing, and so he wasn't just a cuck; he was actually prostituting out his partner.
Oh yikes!
He and
so for a monthly fee, you have access to my wife.
Yeah. Apparently it's got him off, and
it's the diamond level membership.
Yeah, and obviously this completely shattered his image overnight, and especially because it's just Sydney Watson being Sydney Watson. Everyone's like, "Well, what are you doing?" And it was
like, how are you going to get mad at that girl?
Yeah,
like especially in that situation.
She's
First of all,
so
Sydney is like
as well,
right? She's like one of the most sweet, naive people. At least that's how she comes across on stream, right? Is just a sweet kind of maybe naive or just going through, you know, doing her thing. Had no idea that she stepped on a landmine. I don't think.
What was he on there to talk about?
Oh, just himself. He was just promoting himself.
Oh, okay. Huh. 69 for 69. Nice.
So yeah, that one's that's pretty interesting. I quite like old law like Murphy, and you know, I think that people should be reminded that you know, charlatans exist.
So are you comparing that story to Ricada? As far as like there's no way for him to redeem, so therefore you're having a hard time.
I think the comparison there is, you know, when you present yourself as, and Rikita did for a long time, as very professional, very intelligent, very, you know, traditional, you know, married with multiple kids, and then you get the shift to Baldo and cocaine and getting raided by the police and having an affair with your nanny and a friend and all that. It shatters a core piece of your image, which is very, very difficult to repair, because that's how a lot of people who were your viewership know you and the wider internet. So yeah, I think that makes it very, very difficult.
I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea about me. I am not professional. I'm a sarcastic asshole that's up for just about anything. So don't set your standards too high when it comes to me.
I think yeah, it's like, yeah, he's in a rough place. I mean, again, I like a good redemption story as much as the next guy though. So if he has one, I'd be pleased to see him redeemed, I suppose. So Cool Anime Girls said I should tell you about Zeus, who's also going through some legal stuff at the moment.
Tell us.
So Zeus is a live stream. Do you know Ice Poseidon?
No, I'm gonna look.
I know the name.
Okay, so it's like he's a famous live IRL streamer, but there's something called IP2. It's a whole thing. Zeus is part of that with some other people who are Destiny Orbiters called Merc off the Perk and Darius. And there's a couple of other people involved in this. About 2 weeks ago now, probably around that, they're all living in this streamer house together. And Darius and some other streamers basically egg Zeus's car. And they also egg Merc, and they steal some water from Zeus's car. It's a whole thing. Zeus calls the police. Darius spends 3 days in jail. Zeus spends 3 days streaming about how he's going to kick Darius out of the house they live in. It's this whole thing. And then the police turn up and say,
this is like a self-imposed real world sort of like thing situation.
Oh god, yeah.
Where they all live together?
It's
okay.
yeah. And essentially he said on the night that he was going to leave, so the police have bailed Darius back to the house. So now he's basically been made homeless. They're like, you can't live here. You gave a verbal you affirmed to us verbally that you were leaving. You've essentially given up your tenant's rights. So he's now sleeping in his truck. And at the same time, like, Darius is having assault charges pressed on him. It is an insane trash fire. You look broken.
I think I've seen clips of this. Don't these people like...
You broke David, Becca. You broke.
I just, first of all, I can't imagine doing this, like wanting to do this in the first place.
Yeah. Agree with you.
But I want to know who's sleeping with who. That's my first question.
So Darius is sleeping with Merc off the Perk. Darius also has an ex-girlfriend named Xena, who's part of this scene, who he had a long-term relationship in which he was physically and emotionally abusive. And I do mean like kicking her and spitting on her and stuff. So live on camera.
Yeah, okay, those are the ones that I've seen. I've seen those clips. That's what I think I've seen this.
Yeah, so that's developing.
Oh my god.
It's I don't know, like you ever...
I think Valhalla and Wendy should move in together and let's film it and see how this goes.
I think it's one of those things. I've got a theory about
how long
this.
we last.
I think watching content like this, one of the reasons it's so enjoyable is because it's like, no matter how badly your life is going, it's not this bad. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That's why reality TV is so great to watch for most of us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh, it could be worse. Go figure.
Mm-hmm. First of all, nothing's worse than having a roommate. Do you have a roommate, Beckett?
No, I may not be married, but I live on my own and I own my own house, so I am doing all right.
I do like living without any other adults in my home.
I rented for a long time, but dude, it's
I could
so
never have
nice
a roommate.
having your own house.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think I could do the roommate.
I don't like
thing.
people. I don't like people. I don't want to be around them, especially, just in general. I don't want to.
I'm okay with kids. I just don't want other adults annoying me.
Oh, I was including kids with that.
Yeah, I don't want to say I like kids. I don't want to be that person either. But they don't annoy me as much as adults. Especially if they don't stink. Can you imagine me feeding the goats? That would be hilarious. I would do that. I would totally do that. I could be a country.
Wendy, move to Tennessee. Please move to Tennessee. Let's get a 24-hour live stream of this.
Could you imagine me in Tennessee? First of all, I would be sweating nonstop from all the humidity. I would die from the humidity.
Well, you'd probably have a better shot at like the next husband, right? In Tennessee.
Yeah, I could get me a sister. I could get me a brother husband over there. Yeah. For sure, the dating pool would be a lot. Although I think most Yeah, you're right. I definitely have a better chance of getting a husband over there.
You know, you would absolutely have the pick of whoever you wanted because whoever you set your eyes on, you're better than them.
True.
And
So
that
maybe
includes
that's a
Valhalla.
good idea. Well, have you seen that show Hot in Cleveland with Betty White and like what's his name? Van Halen.
Betty White's dead.
Right, it's an old show, but Betty White's in it, and Van Halen's wife, Valerie Bertinelli, was in it. And the premise was these women, like they're these LA girls, these women, like they're, Botox queens. They're having to get all the things to keep up with the Joneses in their town, They go to Cleveland for something and they all end up there, like their girlfriends. They all end up there and they're like, damn, we're hot here. Like in Cleveland, we're like 10s,
Is that what the basis of the show is?
Yeah. So that's kind of what you're probably right. Yeah, maybe not a 10, but for sure a solid 7 over there. Yeah.
A solid 7.
Beckett, have you been to the US?
Yeah, I've been to the US a few times. I've been to like Washington, LA.
Washington State or Washington, D.C.?
Washington, D.C.
Oh, nice.
Oh, so you've been to all the shit places. Have you ever been somewhere good in the US?
Cool.
Did you get tricked?
Where's good? Where's good in the US?
California.
The Midwest. No, he just went to LA, he said. LA.
Well, LA's crap. LA's garbage.
The Midwest, the solid part of the country. Detroit.
The Midwest.
Chicago.
I'd go. I mean, I'd like to go out again. Maybe start of next year, end of this year, if I get the time or the money. But I'd like to. If I go out, I'd like to, go shooting with people. I think because it has been a long time since I fired a firearm.
Oh, like weapons?
Sorry, say that again. That was 2 at once.
My bad. You have fired firearms?
Yeah. I was taught to fire. What? Like I did like clay pigeon shooting as a kid.
Nice.
I got like I was taught to fire rifles as a kid. So yeah, this idea that Brits don't know how to use guns and stuff is a complete myth. It's handguns that are like impossible to get a hold of, but you can get a shotgun without too much trouble. And
Steph the alternate, I think, was explaining that to us. Like you can still be part of like hunting clubs. And, it's kind of fairly easy to go that route, but like you don't keep your guns in your house or something, or you have to keep them a specific way in your house, or
there are eccentricities, shall we say, to it, but it's totally doable.
Sounds like a giant pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Just keep your guns in your home, man. Fully loaded and ready to go.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's why we have crossbows.
He's so fascinated with the crossbow. I'm gonna have to see you do a stream where you're like going out to a range and firing your crossbow.
So, I mean, crossbows in the UK are really interesting because there's actually a specific law that protects our right to own crossbows. It's actually called the Crossbow Act.
What?
Oh, that's fun.
And if I was to tell you the last time this law was updated, when do you think it would be?
1910.
It's got to be
1790.
It's got to be old. It's got to be old. Because
Okay,
when
now I'm
the
thinking
French
2024.
brought the crossbows over, right? In like the
1987
1200s or something.
It is actually the 80s, I believe.
1980s, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I would have never got that in a million years.
The British right to bear crossbows. Chopstick's very funny.
All the good things happened in the 80s.
Oh, that's so cool.
Damn
it! I gotta put batteries in this.
What? How is it meant to come with? How is it meant to work without batteries?
It's got a
I
motor,
thought, like
Dave.
lithium was in there. Lithium batteries. I gotta go get some AA's, so this won't be mechanically functional tonight.
I have a bunch of batteries. Too bad you're not in California.
I might actually have some batteries.
So Beckett, what do you have against California? I thought you're a liberal. I'm so confused.
No one's that liberal.
Outstanding.
That's cute. That's funny.
That's great.
That was good.
That was a good one. I will give you that. That was good.
Yeah, no, I'm not really a fan of Callie.
Nor should you be.
Paula, you've never even been here.
Yes, I
I'm
have.
coming in September.
I think
I'm very much
Vancouver's
looking
pretty
forward
cool.
to leaving.
Not Vancouver. What's it
That's
called?
not this country.
Oh, what's it called? Sorry, the heat's getting to me. What's it called? the Don't Tread on Me state.
Tennessee.
Oh,
no, Tennessee's Tennessee's the friendship state, isn't it?
No.
How gay is that?
I could have sworn it was Tennessee or Texas, one of the two, as like the weirdest slogan. It's like the friendship state, and it makes no sense for the state at all.
Virginia is for lovers.
Virginia is for lovers.
Oh, God. Which state has the best bird?
The Michigan's the robin.
Vermont.
It's legal in like 28 states now or something. It's pretty much.
David, where's your mom been? I haven't seen her in chat for a while.
I don't know, living her life. She's not spending it on YouTube like all of us.
Okay, Mrs. Helm, time to come visit us. Half Irish said, Wendy, you're friends with us. You aren't that liberal. Oh, bless your heart. Yes, I am, babe. But it's okay. I still love y'all.
What is the Don't Tread on Me state? Is that
Vermont.
South Carolina?
Vermont. Michigan Farm Boy says Vermont.
Is it
Is it Vermont? Yeah, I think that's got a cool slogan. I'd go to Vermont. You want to go somewhere with
ours is if you seek a pleasant peninsula, look about you.
That is a terrible slogan.
That's so long.
It's so bad. It's so long.
Tennessee is the volunteer state, by the way, not the friendship state.
The volunteer state.
Took me way too long to remember that.
What is
we have
what does that even mean?
We have a extremely large percentage of the population that are veterans and in the military.
Aww.
And I think that's got something to do with it.
That makes sense. I can see that.
Yeah. Even the University of Tennessee is the Tennessee Vols.
I know. Isn't that a cool name? I like their mascot. So Shell says I like the state flowers. I do too. So California is the California poppy and Colorado is the columbine. I love the California poppy. I think it's gorgeous. I think Vermont would be beautiful. I
feel like ours is the apple blossom in Michigan, which is all of it's kind of boring.
Oh yeah. So Beckett, Half Irish has a question. Would you be wanting to go to Alberta and shoot guns with Runkle?
I don't know Runkle.
Runkle of the Bailey is a law tuber out of
Canada.
Like a gun
Alberta.
expert
Yeah.
too, like.
Oh, I totally.
He's a Canadian gun lawyer, firearms lawyer.
Yeah, I mean, like I would absolutely travel to just go to a shooting range and shoot guns for the day.
You know what? I feel like that
all of them
is like an underdeveloped tourism industry is come to America and shoot guns, because you're not the first European that said that. And I took one out, like I said, last year. I feel like that's a underdeveloped tourism niche that really could use some expanding.
Yeah, I could definitely
see what all the fun is about. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to go and it's a good stress reliever. It's fun.
It's like women
social
who go into the woods and scream.
Yeah, it's like the man
that?
version of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Half Irish says Runkle now has his own land and a fire thrower. Yeah, she's like, you would really love Runkle, she says.
Yeah, Runkle's awesome.
Oh, he does have a flamethrower. That's right.
Yeah, I would totally go and do a flamethrower with somebody. That sounds awesome.
Shell says, Beckett, I remember you talking about wanting to go to a cabin in the mountains. You should definitely visit Colorado. Lots of places to go shooting too.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Man, I kind of like if you're gonna go away.
I mean, you could shoot immigrants in Colorado.
I have more hair.
I mean, yeah, if you're gonna get away, you should get away somewhere quiet, though you get to shut off. Is my view,
Right.
And I don't want to go somewhere super busy. I cannot find this piece anywhere.
I don't think I knew Scott was Canadian. I'm so dumb.
You gotta look deeper in your bowl.
I'm looking for a Technic piece.
I'll come to Alberta any day. I would love to go to Canada. I've never been there.
Apparently, there's a.
I am fairly
chain
confident that my little motor is not going to work.
Not without battery.
But I'm powering through.
The little motor doesn't work.
No, even when I put the batteries in. I was just looking. I was like, if I got to tear this thing apart to get at this, it's going to be a giant disaster, and I'm just not going to have a working lighthouse. But
oh, that's crazy. That's why he's so nice. He's Canadian. I didn't know Scott was Canadian. How did I not know that? Recovery addict. I'm assuming she's talking about.
Is some Irish Canadian too? I don't know if I knew that.
Who?
Some Irish.
I thought
she goes by half Irish, but she's not half Irish. She's got like a little bit of Irish in her.
Yeah. I get her and Iris confused. So Iris lives in Texas. Irish lives in Canada. Canada. Oh, wrong Scott. Okay, good. Okay, I was confused. Thanks, half Irish.
Scott,
I just knew she was Irish.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know he was Canadian.
He's not.
Oh, he lives in like South Carolina or something, doesn't he? I can't remember.
He's like right on the other side of the mountains from me.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
North or south, I don't recall. One of the Carolinas.
There's not much of a difference. Well, I guess there is these days.
Sorry, Scott. Our Scott. We have a Scott in chat. He's talking about the Scott in chat. Sorry, kids.
Wendy's confusing herself now.
I am. Hi, Pam.
Hey, Pam.
Beckett's just furiously digging through that bowl.
I cannot possibly find this piece. It is driving me insane.
Everybody loses a piece.
I am missing a piece.
Are you still Valhalla? That's been a long time, babe.
I'll have to.
I'm just not putting them all on.
I've never heard of Valhalla missing.
It's like a core piece. It's like it's a little it's one of the ones where it's like a cross piece with a circle piece. It's like a tube thing.
So earlier I was listing some pieces. Okay. I was gonna say sometimes they put random pieces in unmarked bags that you're supposed to use like random pieces out of. So that's all I was gonna say, but you found it.
No, I found it. I'm good. I'm pleased. Thank God. I was losing my mind.
At this point, I'm just hoping that piece, I have an extra one of those somewhere in a different bag. That's what I'm hoping.
I bet you do.
Where are we?
Actually lock in place. That'd be great. Okay, cool. Yes.
So, what are your thoughts on this new YouTube crackdown, Beckett?
Oh, what's the new YouTube crackdown?
New YouTube crackdown.
So YouTube is apparently striking a lot of content creators that have been offering commentary basically on music, and even if they play like 5 seconds of it, their channels are getting struck, blocked in, and it's not just like you can't earn money on this. It's like the stream or the video goes down, and all of this has happened over the last like week or so. So YouTube is getting more and more strict with its copyright claims, sort of the opposite of what I was anticipating YouTube doing moving forward. So you don't know about this at all?
So I know YouTube worries, and I mean, I played bits of music and then my stream will just get demonetized. Now, like, there's options here of like removing stuff, but like you can use AI to remove the kind of offending material.
Right.
But there's definitely like a lot of elements where this crackdown is almost like a step back to like old YouTube. And like it was like it used to be the case that like this is where like the nostalgia critic and that guy with the glasses and things started their own websites to get around this because they were doing movie reviews and things and just getting clapped. I don't know, because like it seems like there should be protections for fair use.
Right. And it should be built into the system a little more than it is.
Yeah.
So apparently there's some music review channels that I've been watching for a little bit, and all of a sudden they're saying their streams are getting demonetized, they're getting blocked in certain areas, so the videos are getting pulled down entirely for playing like 5 seconds of a song, even though they're interviewing like the artist. At the time, their stuff is still getting pulled down.
I believe that.
And so this has all happened within the last week or so. Apparently, YouTube has made a major change in how they're addressing those things.
I think that
I don't know.
I think that overcorrection is going to be dangerous, but at the same time, it's the year of the lawsuit. I think a lot of people are looking. I think a lot of people are really worried about what the future of sort of content creation looks like from a how much people can get away with. There does seem to be like a almost systemic change in how a lot of this is being viewed. And we've been talking a long time about sort of the end of the Wild West of the internet, and that does unfortunately seem to be coming. Really,
a year ago I said, YouTube is cool. It's it's like the largest TV network in the world that's ever existed, and it has a variety of stuff. And now I feel like YouTube is dying because I feel like a lot of people are going to be jumping ship. If you can't offer commentary on things under fair use, and your stuff's going to get struck, then what's the incentive for people to produce videos?
I agree with you, but also it's like, what's the alternative, right? And from YouTube's perspective, where they want to see, like they're not as concerned about smaller creators, that we're sort of a net loss, if anything, unless you do really well. I'm
talking about, these are larger creators. These are creators with like 2.5 million subs that are getting struck because they played 5 seconds of a song while interviewing the artist.
Oof,
because the record label owns the song, right? So that's the sort of stuff that, it's not just little YouTubers. These are big guys.
Well, it makes sense though, right? Like from a legal perspective, why would YouTube want to take the risk as the publisher essentially until there's some
Well, they don't take the risk because they're protected under that federal statute. They're just a platform, and as long as they're not offering editorial rights, which in my opinion they're doing, so therefore they should be no longer, if they're making editorial decisions, then they're no longer protected under federal law and they can be sued. But if they just simply said, hey man, that's up to you guys duke it out in court, then they're actually protected by federal law. So it's the exact opposite. They've got the protection if they just let the stuff stand.
So much of it as well is because usually this stuff's automated,
right?
Like companies will use just software to go through and go, we hear a snapshot of this, we'll remove it. Now, if you're working with the artist, what you can do is they can contact the publishers and whoever their kind of producers are, and just get stuff whitelisted. But that is work.
We did that. We did that. We had an American actor and television producer on, and we played some of his stuff. And I'm like, hey, are we gonna get struck here? He's like, no, you're gonna be fine. But I kind of wanted to make sure, so I asked him. I was like, is it cool if we play like clips of this? So I get that, but should you have to go through all of that in order to?
My argument is no, but also I'm pro piracy, so I don't know if I'm an unbiased source.
The pirate's life for me.
Bittorn Beckett over here.
Yeah, I think publishers are generally bastards, who essentially have, especially since the age of Amazon sort of dawned, take more and more of a bigger slice from artists, and artists are making so much less than they used to. The argument of, well, you're hurting artists. Well, if you want to support artists, almost support them directly.
Okay.
Right?
Metallica.
I'm sorry. It's nice to see that rebel spirit has died. What happened to so you wouldn't pay taxes to the British, but we should support corporations? Is that what we're doing? Is that your position?
Hey, if the British made Enter Sandman, we would talk. All right, that's all I'm saying.
Look, I think that there should be. Okay, well, let's put it this way. Recently, the FBI have essentially been taking down games, like games redistributors, and doing things like this. And going back to the Epstein thing, it's like, well, we can't get the Epstein list, but we can go after random small bits of piracy to protect major corporations. So it's nice to know where the priorities are, right?
Right. Yeah. No, I the piracy is a little different. This is clear fair use commentary, right? And so one of the requirements for fair use commentary is, does it diminish the original work? And so if people are going to the commentary channel to watch the entire music video or listen to the song instead of going to the original artist's platform, that diminishes the original work. But if they're just hearing snippets about it, to the point where maybe it even encourages them to go to the original song or download or buy the original song, then that has the exact opposite. So we're talking about like 5 seconds of song, 10 seconds of song. That's not diminishing the work. If anything, it's advertising for the work.
I agree.
So I just have a problem
like a
with
movie
the
trailer.
Whole idea. Yeah, like a movie trailer. Or like people that offer movie commentaries. Apparently, it's going to start hitting people that offer commentary on movies and television too. So
I mean, I think there's also like a general there's like a Luddite view to some of this stuff. I've got a friend in the gaming industry who's talking to me about the fact that there's a contingent of people in the gaming industry who want to charge people who stream games for streaming the game.
What?
Which is
want to do what now?
They want to charge the people who stream games for streaming the game.
So do you know the YouTuber Daz? Have you ever heard of the British YouTuber Daz?
So.
He does. He used to do gaming reviews. He also does some React videos.
Mm-hmm.
But he has. I used to watch him with my kids when they were younger, and I have about 10 games that I purchased simply because he did a review of it, and my kids were like, "Oh, we got to get that game now." So why would you not? I don't know. It just doesn't,
because they don't think like that.
But there's got to be somebody in the marketing department that says, "Wait a minute here, isn't this advertisement for us that's free?"
Yeah, which is why it hasn't happened yet. But at the same time, it doesn't change the fact that men in suits see only bottom line. How are we making as much profit as humanly, physically possible?
Why you got to bring the suits into it, man? I like suits.
You like ties. Also, Arizona tea still sells for 99 cents, and they're multi-billion-dollar companies. So don't have to be so greedy.
Yeah,
didn't that just go up? Actually,
it did. It's gonna make me a liar now, Valhalla. Damn it!
I haven't bought Arizona iced tea in years, like 30 years.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time. Probably when my older kids were teenagers.
Beckett, what's your drink of choice?
Oh, my drink of choice.
Coca-Cola, apparently.
Yeah, I completely have quit energy drinks.
Good. Those are so bad for you.
So that was,
Why'd you quit those?
Because they're incredibly bad for me.
Seriously, they're like gonna get a heart attack at like 40. Those are awful.
Yeah, do you know what it was? I started to develop sleep apnea. No word of a lie. I was like jolting awake at night, like gasping, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not overweight, so what's going on? And I thought, well, I drink a lot of energy drinks. Maybe if I quit, and I'll just see what happened. And completely cleared up. Completely cleared up.
Interesting.
Amazing.
Yeah. I just started to feel huge amounts better. So
I drink like 2 or 3 monsters a day at the moment.
Yeah, I was doing that.
No,
but yeah, like it was causing sleep apnea.
Yeah, Valhalla, it's probably why
Wendy, don't argue at him. At least it's not beer he wakes up drinking.
That would be healthier than a Monster.
I disagree.
I don't disagree with that.
I disagree.
Really? Why?
I've never liked energy drinks. I'm so glad I never got into those.
Me too. I think they taste gross. But why do you think an energy drink is healthier than a beer?
Because I drink enough beer at night. I can't be drinking beer all the time.
Why not?
That's a quitter's attitude.
That's right. That's why I don't go to AA. AA is for quitters.
Yeah, true. True. Nobody likes a quitter. That's why I still smoke.
That's right. That's right.
I miss smoking, but I'm kind of glad I quit. I guess if I have to be.
I mean, what else am I going to waste my money on? And like, look, what's the alternative? I live till like 100. Like on my dad's side of the family, they're incredibly long lived. I don't want to live. I don't want to end up in a home. I want to go out in like my 70s.
Right?
I've got a good 40 years left, and I'm going to waste them.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to die.
I think that's a great plan. I like that.
It's a perfect plan. It's a perfect plan. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I think that's great. It's your life.
Valhalla, are you quitting smoking?
Not today.
Not today, Satan. Not today.
Not today.
I think far too many people want to live healthily, but miserably.
Yeah, see,
I don't live miserably,
what's
although I try to
the
live
point of
healthy.
being healthy if I'm miserable though? So like,
true.
If I'm not doing what
But I don't
want,
eat fast food. I try to make my own meals. I enjoy cooking though. That's not miserable, is it? Am I miserable, Wendy?
goodness, no way. I would
do you
never
feel
classify you
miserable?
as miserable. I think you
No.
have.
I feel better when I do like the things people say are healthy.
Yeah, I've seen you too. Like, go up and down a few pounds, and you seem like you really are flourishing when you're in a lower. You know, when you're eating more healthy.
I'm more agile.
Yeah, it's really hard. Well, also when you
Cat-like,
turn
definitely.
40, every like pound, everything counts. Everything changes.
You know how hard it is to lose weight after you turn 40?
I
It's not
actually
hard.
do. I actually am a little bit over
Valhalla, are
40.
you 40?
I just turned 41. So
You've been 40 now.
yeah,
I knew it was your birthday, but we didn't do a birthday stream, so I forgot how old you were.
we didn't this year.
And I'm just a little bit.
First year
little
in
bit over
3 years that I haven't done a birthday stream.
How'd it feel? Good?
It felt weird.
Yeah.
Did it
I almost
really?
started one.
Why didn't you do a birthday stream?
I don't know.
I doubt Karen Reed probably.
Yeah, I tend to do that, right? Like if I go hard in the paint on something, such as the Karen Reed trial, where I, was streaming every day for 7 hours a day for 30 something days. After that, I reset. I have to go disappear for a few weeks and
That's
not
understandable.
pay attention. Yeah, otherwise,
Yeah,
I get a
otherwise
little
you
kooky.
get. Yeah.
I get mean, is what I get. I get mean.
You get mean.
Yeah. My jokes come off more mean than funny, and that's not who I want to be. When I
I
start
kind of
getting
want to see
crabby.
Mean Valhalla.
No, you don't. Nobody does. It's not fun.
Yeah, I definitely hit burnout points where I just like I get annoyed when I feel like there's an expectation of being like I've occasionally, especially in
Oh.
commentators, there's like an expectation of being like an attack dog. and I get very annoyed when I feel like I'm being pushed in a certain direction to, oh, go after this person. We don't like this person, and I'm like, I kind of want to be nice to them just to spite you.
Yeah.
Can you go after uncivil law for me?
Why? Why?
No, I'm just kidding.
Send me something. It was funny enough. I mean,
I get that. I that's kind of a little bit why I got. So here's the thing. So when I started streaming, I was like, oh, I'll just sit down and do legal commentary. And then it was, oh, we have members. We got to offer the members something extra. And then, all right, we'll do a Discord. But then I got to produce things on the Discord. And then there was just like, and then people wanted you on as guests. And it just turned into be a lot. It was a lot. And yeah, I just kind of got burnt out on it. So I completely understand that. Oh, there are my damn stickers.
So, if we're not allowed to talk about this, someone let me know. But people have been asking about Ozzy Overlord.
Ozzy?
Yeah, that they said pray for him and his family. Someone said the poor kids. I don't know if you guys know what's going on. Anyone know what's going on?
Yeah.
Apparently one of the instructors or the teachers at his daycare facility where his kids went was just picked up for filming inappropriate things of the children
with toddlers.
And so yeah, there's nothing as far as I know, the last I heard, there's nothing specific for any of his kids specifically, but that there were allegations of other kids and his kids were there.
And I do believe him and his wife are taking a let's say a position in the legal proceedings against this guy. They're because they're both in the legal field. He's a lawyer. I'm not sure exactly what her title is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're doing like a class action type deal.
Got it.
And I think they're kind of in charge
that's
of
what's
that.
going on.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of I saw his stream when the news broke and he was talking about it. But that's all I know. And it's been a week or so now, so I don't know if there's anything new. But that's what I know anyways. So that's why they're talking about that. Yeah, that's kind of rough. It's like, if you hear these accusations, there's nothing, at least the last I heard, there was nothing against his kids specific. But you're like, well, is there?
You're welcome.
Mustang.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, gosh.
Yeah, that's kind of.
This is why my 15-year-old is not allowed to leave the house. Well, she'll be 15 in August.
Don't have kids.
Are you done, Beckett?
No, not quite.
Okay.
That is.
But are you done?
He's taking a break. He's taking a break. He's gonna get mean now.
I think
I've done about that much of the book. It's pretty good. I think it's taking shape. It's a street.
That a boy? No, I'm proud of you. I'm not judging.
That's pretty awesome.
I'm not judging.
That's a street.
Yeah.
It's so many little pieces.
I have no anticipation of actually finishing this tonight, but if Beckett's going the long haul, I will.
I am fine sitting here building things with Lego because when we stop streaming, I'm going to continue doing this. So I am questioning my life decisions of picking this set. No, I like it. It's good. It'll look really good once it's done, and I'm enjoying working out how things fit together. It's got spinny bits and things that turn and secrets. It's got a nice doorway now. Quite like a doorway.
I have to say, Beckett, when I end up having to pay somebody an extraordinary amount of money to build my new secret spot in my house, it's going to be your fault.
I totally like, if I had crazy amounts of money, I would build stupid stuff in my house.
Why not?
What I want to know is what you all would keep behind the door in those secret spots.
That's a good question. I would want
obviously
a
Epstein, just there.
just Epstein.
I'm gonna put Melania in mine.
What would I keep behind?
I would want a library. I know mine would be very good. Mine'd be very
library's boring. No one's gonna want to go in there.
Gilded age-ish, Oh, David, have you watched the new season of The Gilded Age yet?
Oh yeah, I am all caught up on that.
Oh, you are? Okay, I'm not. No spoilers. I haven't started yet. Yeah, Safe Room.
What's the Gilded Age?
David, tell
The
him.
Gilded Age is a TV show on HBO which takes place in the 1880s during the Gilded Age in New York City. So it's all these people that had, if you think of the Vanderbilts and J.P. Morgan Chase and all these people that are like Elon level wealthy, that are living in the United States at the time. So it's following them and their sort of drama, old money versus new money sort of thing. It's like a Downton Abbey, but 40 years earlier. And in fact, it's the same creator.
Oh, is it?
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the same creator. So it's an interesting show. And if you remember Downton Abbey, one of the characters' story was that she was an American heiress that was married into a noble family in England because the family needed the money to maintain the noble houses, and they had a ton of money. And so one of the rich kids is being promised to Lord of Buckingham or something like that. I don't know, whatever his title is. So it's that sort of thing, but it's a good show. It's entertaining.
I can.
So
see
there's
that.
some
That's
British
pretty
tie-in.
good.
Yeah.
Like,
You guys.
listen. Once again, I understand that you only bring me around to add a touch of class and fantasize about being part of the empire once again.
You're our down upstairs to our Downton Abbey.
Oh, so true.
That's funny.
I mean, literally, yes, you are.
So yeah, like,
was there a point being made there, or was you just rambling about how great you are?
He made his point. He made his point.
Yeah, pretty much. That's all.
That's okay. Your food sucks.
Listen, our food is great. Okay,
but you know what?
A full English breakfast is the best breakfast food.
Oh yeah,
baked beans for breakfast is weird.
Baked beans
That's weird for breakfast.
You don't have to have baked beans. You don't have to have baked beans. You can have a whole host of things.
I'm down. I'm down to try all the foods. Don't get me wrong. I watch Beard
Holly,
Eats,
you might like the blood sausage.
Yeah,
I do like blood
black
sausage.
pudding
Blood
is really good.
Yeah, I love that.
No, gross.
Had an old Irish guy, old Irish man, introduced me to blood sausage a long time ago when I was a kid.
Really?
We were at like a camping deal in
Illinois,
Michigan, actually.
Oh wow!
Also, I'm not sure you guys can criticize beans on toast when you have like gravy for breakfast, like the gravy.
Okay, time out.
Stuff.
No. You have never. You have clearly never had biscuits and gravy, because if you had ever tasted it in your life, you would never disparage it ever again.
Correct, because biscuits are not meant, or our biscuits are the biscuits are not sweet. They're not cookies. It's a savory
biscuits and
gravy full of flour.
So that's one thing I have to avoid. I cannot eat biscuits and gravy, because if I do, I will eat way too much of it, and then I will never stop eating it.
Well, what does the gravy taste like, and why is it gray?
It's
milk not gray. It's a cream. It's a cream-based gravy with sausage in it.
Yeah.
Here's how you make it. You
Okay.
take about a pound of pork sausage. Okay. Brown it, stir it up, fry it up real good. Season it real well. I prefer spices. I prefer some crushed red pepper flake, a little bit of cayenne in there.
Yeah.
And then some flour, and then a bunch of milk. Pour a bunch of milk on there. Get it to where it's like just boiling, and then it gets all thickened up. Oh my god! It emulsifies, is what it does. It's so delicious.
It's delicious.
So delicious.
I have to agree with Valhalla. It's so good. And then you pour that over a nice buttery, flaky biscuit.
I prefer ripping my biscuits into bite-sized pieces ahead of time.
That's a good idea.
That's weird.
You're weird.
Use a fork and knife, man.
Well, yeah, obviously you use a fork after that.
So have you guys ever watched Ollie or Jolly, those food guys, the British guys? They like have like American kids try things or British kids try things. It's funny. Like,
oh yes, I have seen that.
I love
I've
that.
seen some of those.
Yeah, and they had so their dad, one of their dads seems kind of posh, a little posh, and he tried American biscuits and gravy for the first time, and he was like, "Oh heck no!" Like he didn't want anything to do with it. And then as soon as he put it in his mouth, he was like, he couldn't stop eating it. He was like, "Okay, this is legit."
I will admit, like, so we don't have many Wendy's here, but there's one Wendy's in a city that occasionally I end up going to for work.
Yeah.
Baconators.
I'm just like, Wendy's is incredible.
Baconator
is actually incredible.
And spicy chicken sandwiches all day long.
Your McDonald's is terrible though.
Yeah.
Agreed.
McDonald's is horrible, except for the breakfast food. Unless you're in Sweden, then the breakfast is horrible too.
We have like halloumi fries here at the moment.
I don't know.
Like,
what did you say?
Halloumi fries. You know, like halloumi cheese.
No.
It's
We don't
like
know that.
No, I don't know what halloumi is.
it's like it's really hard to describe. It's almost kind of okay. I'll describe it. It's way better than it sounds, but it's kind of a very rubbery cheese.
Okay.
Like a squeaky cheese.
Yeah, kind of. And you can grill it and things. But
I know what that is. Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah, it's like mozzarella sticks, but instead of mozzarella, it's halloumi.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really
and we have
good.
that at our McDonald's.
I'm a big fan of mozzarella sticks.
So we fry it. We fry them. We just slice it off. We like butter the pan and then fry it and flip it over, and then we serve it and you like eat it on a cracker or something. It's so freaking good.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
You guys have that at Wendy's?
McDonald's.
No, McDonald's, he said.
McDonald's? Oh.
Our McDonald's is a lot better than your McDonald's. I tried both.
It is.
Yes.
It actually
it is just because of that. I'm gonna go there.
Your bread in like the rolls in American McDonald's are like terrible. They're like
I like them.
But
yours are better. Yours are better. Your
We
McDonald's.
have like sugar in all of our bread that you guys don't have, I think.
We also have yoga mats.
I also found out your Coke is worse than ours. It's got corn syrup in it rather than
yeah,
sugar.
it is.
Oh, everything we make has corn syrup in it.
I will say the pop
What is
in
with
Europe
the-
is so much better.
What's
yeah,
with
what
the-
do you
what's
like
with
at Wendy's, Beckett?
I really like just their like main burgers.
Yeah, me too.
They're really good.
And they're
yeah, they're great. They're very affordable. Their shakes are really good.
Oh yeah, and you got to dip the French fry in the milkshake. It's lovely.
No,
Yeah.
nobody does that, Wendy.
You dip French fries in Frosties from Wendy's. Not
Yeah,
milkshake
exactly.
from
Thanks,
McDonald's.
Paula. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So-
like the Mexican Coca-Cola. That's better. Yeah.
So yeah, explain to me why there is corn syrup and everything.
Well, I think it's
cheap.
probably just because we make a lot of corn. Like we grow a lot of corn here, and it's a lot
Mhm.
cheaper.
It's a big
probably just to-
commodity here. Probably because there's a
Well, we get
contract with the government.
Farmers
between the
get
farmers.
subsidies. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm sorry. So you put corn syrup in everything because of subsidies.
Yes. Yeah.
That's insane.
So the federal government pays farmers to grow corn because for a while it wasn't profitable enough, and the government during the Cold War thought that corn was going to be something that we needed more of, and so they started subsidizing it. And then after the Cold War, they continued to subsidize it. So now so many farmers are growing so much corn, we actually throw out a lot of corn after we eat it all, and we turn it into animal food, and we turn it into corn syrup, and we turn it into diesel fuel, and we ship it overseas, and whatever else we do, we still throw a ton of it out. It's so cheap, it's just disposable. And so that's why corn syrup is so cheap, and that's why we use it.
80% of our landfills are full of our food in the United States.
Wouldn't it be easier to stop subsidizing things?
Sure.
Well,
Don't
but
piss
if
off
you
the
do
farmers,
that, then
though.
you're an evil bastard politician. That's what Doge was trying to do. It's like stop all the waste. And you saw the kickback that they got.
Yes, that is not
So
untrue.
it's once people
I
get
love
something from the government, they don't want to give it up too easily.
Yeah, but I mean,
Plus, I think there would need to be some winding down of it. You can't just tell farmers like, "Hey, we're not giving you the subsidies anymore," because their whole business is built on those subsidies. So they would have to have a time to switch over to a different product, or do something like that, and then the price of corn would skyrocket, and everyone would be upset about that. So there'd have to be sort of a gradual working into it.
I feel like this is a problem of your own making.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Most
Aren't
problems,
all problems of our own making.
yeah. Most problems that we experience here in the U.S. are, in fact, due to our
I
own
mean,
making.
in
Yes.
general, everyone's
Well,
problems are of their own.
Everyone, there's a woman that I know that always has an issue with something, and she goes on and on and on about her stories, and I'm like,
Shout out Mrs. Helm. Shout out Mrs. Helm.
I feel like 25% of it, at least, is 100% your fault. The rest of it, yeah, maybe, your circumstances, but you're causing at least 25% of that yourself.
That's funny.
So, Beckett, what would be your superpower that you would want? What would you, if you could have one? If you only could pick one.
I can only pick one.
And it's your only one ever for eternity.
Only one ever for eternity.
Because most superheroes, I think, live forever or eternity. I don't know.
No, they don't. That's not Captain America.
If it's not like a range of powers, if it can't be like a Green Lantern's ring or something,
Right.
probably super speed.
Super speed. Why?
Because think how much you could get done. You could go anywhere. You could run anywhere on the planet.
Couldn't you just like have
I would like to travel
time?
Time freezing, another one is really good.
Freeze time, and then you can just take your time. Take as long as you want.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's funny.
Yeah. Invulnerability is another good one.
That'd be good.
But you need it
But
coupled
then you
with
live
other
forever,
things.
man. Then you see all your loved ones dead.
Yeah. Have you guys seen
I mean,
Highlander?
assuming you have loved ones, I guess.
Endless commentary. Endless drama commentary through immortality.
You already have that superpower. Oh,
I like invisibility.
Invisibility is a good one.
I like invisibility a lot.
I like invisibility because think of how much information you'd be able to just gather on people or whatever.
That's such a lawyer answer.
It really is. Beckett would use it to find the Epstein files.
Well, yeah. I mean, the only people that know what happened to Epstein are, Hillary Clinton and the other person who was in the cell who killed him.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see the Brits think like we do.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's such a major story at the moment. I think it's been really interesting watching various talking heads sort of like twist on it because you get people who are like, "Oh, we need to support Trump. If Trump says don't talk about it, we don't talk about it." And you get the other ones who are like, "No, this actually really matters." I think they shot themselves in the foot because they campaigned on it.
Yeah, he absolutely campaigned on
it.
Did.
Like you can't.
Well, they all did.
Yeah,
they all did. Even everyone. What's his name? Bug-Eyed Jones that got the FBI spot. They all campaigned on it. They all pushed. We're going to release these files, and then all of a sudden they don't come out. That's a huge issue for them, and you can't spin that shit away.
No matter how hard they're trying.
Someone like we were watching Fox News, and someone was like trying to link this to like socialism or communism or something. Like, well, we don't live in a communism state. What the hell does that have to do with anything? And it's just trying to pull shit out of your ass.
Yeah, it's like, what's the talking point? What's the talking point? And it's like, guys, come on. People are dumb, but they're not this dumb. You can't just you can't spin propaganda like this. It's too obvious what you're doing.
Yeah. I'd
it
want to
has-
be able to fly or breathe underwater. Cool anime girl says, you can get an airplane and fly, and in a submarine.
Yeah,
I want to be
Ocean Gate.
invisible.
Yeah,
there you go.
Invisible's pretty good. Yeah, I think Power of Flight is really solid. I think a lot of people would go for that. I feel like I'd get cold. Like flying would be cold, right?
That would be my thought. Plus the speed, you got it covered. I mean, if you can run fast enough, you don't need to fly.
Yeah. I think that's why.
Look at the Flash.
Plus,
Although
you've got like super fast reaction times.
Being a Brit, you might need to fly. Like you can run all over your island if you want to, but you know.
Well, if you're super fast, you can run over.
No, you can run on water if you go fast enough.
You got Jesus abilities.
The Flash can run on water.
Yeah,
can
Flash can run on water. Yeah, and
It does the impossible. Flash.
Well, shows you what I know about the Flash.
Does the impossible.
That's a Flash, different Flash.
Oh my God, how old are you, Wendy? That's from like the 70s.
Wasn't that Flash Gordon?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Flash Gordon. That wasn't the Flash.
That's a different Flash.
Oh, it is?
Different character.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Flash.
They're not the same? He does the impossible.
No, yeah, that is Flash Gordon. That's not the Flash.
Is Flash Gordon from Let's Do the Time Warp Again?
No, that's Rocky.
Oh my God, no! You're just
What is
no,
happening over here?
I don't get out much.
Do you get out ever, Wendy?
I don't know if that works as an excuse in this case.
I know,
Right.
right? Especially, with the internet. I'm like streaming on YouTube. I don't get out much. I was supposed to go to a Gary Owen concert tonight, but I'm too busy streaming Lego. So yeah, I do get out when I can, but you guys have me working full time.
Who?
Gary Owen. Oh my God, you guys don't know that comedian. He's a white guy who plays to mostly black audiences. He tells he tells a lot of black people jokes, I guess. I don't know how to describe him. He's
an honorary member.
Yeah.
of the black community.
He only dates black women. He's his thing.
Well, he sounds really racist. I don't know if I want to see that guy.
Yeah. You would like him. He's from Ohio or something. He's into the Browns. Is that the Cleveland Browns? Something like
Cleveland
that.
Browns.
Yeah. He's one of those famous guys who hangs out with all the athletes, anyway, I live really close to Sacramento, and he's in Sacramento tonight. So I had front row seats to go see him, but I'd rather be here with you all doing Lego. So I gave my tickets to my daughter's best friend's parents. So I'm watching her while they're out watching Gary Owen tonight.
Dang.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wendy's dedicated, y'all.
Wendy's sacrificing her happiness for us.
100%. Yep. Maybe
She can't see the racist comedian.
The truth. I can't. I'm scared to go out in Sacramento right now. You don't want to be out in Sacramento right now. They're everywhere. ISIS everywhere. Girl.
ISIS? Did you just say ISIS is everywhere?
Ice is everywhere.
Why are you afraid of ICE, Wendy?
As I told
It's
you, I'm half
summertime.
Mexican.
You're not half Mexican. You're American.
I actually am, but they don't care. I don't think it matters. We'll see.
It kind of does. Oh my God, Wendy. Wendy, see, this is
Beckett,
Wendy's
don't let
falling
them fool you.
trap.
They don't know what they're talking about.
False information.
Wendy's
Yeah, the
I'm
Ross
falling
Stewart
for
trying to
the
work out how
BS.
this mechanism works. Apparently, it's meant to pull the door up, and I'm like, I don't see how that works at all. I feel like I've been had.
I don't think you're supposed to know.
That's like my little spinny thing. It doesn't work. I don't know how it's
Mhm.
supposed to work.
Yeah, I'm just like, wait, how does this turn the gear? I'm very confused.
Yeah, my gear's not turning either, but I'm hoping it'll somehow miraculously start working when I finish it.
Shell, that's really cool. I used to live in Monterey, but I'm in Sacramento-ish now.
Ish.
I mean, there's like an internal
Sacramento,
part to it, and I
The
can't
techniques get
see.
a little complicated.
I didn't see that yet. Pam said, "Did you see the rate on the wheat farm?" I'm like, "No, not yet." Man, everything in California, we already spent so much money to live here, and now everything's going to go up in price. Now they're going to get rid of my dispensaries. Lord,
Yep.
Lord.
California is a wasteland, and it's going to be the ground zero for the next Civil War. That's
Oh, 100%. That's why I already know. I don't need to worry about being bunker worthy because I'm not going to survive. It's all good.
I'm glad you're a realist, Wendy.
Yeah, 100%. Oh yeah, no. I don't want to play. I'm not. I don't want to live in a bunker. I don't want to be in a post-apocalyptic world. No thanks. Are you kidding? I fly first class. Do you think I'm going to survive an apocalypse? Valhalla, come on. You know, I won't. You know.
I'm going to continue living life the same way I've been living life. Like nothing would change for me in an apocalypse.
Wendy, look at this little house.
Ooh.
You got a little bed in there, a little.
Oh my God, that's really cute. See, that's like glamping.
You know what? If I could live anywhere other than a boat, it'd be in a lighthouse. I feel like I want to live in a lighthouse now.
I feel like I'd get vertigo up in there.
Same.
Why live in a lighthouse?
Busy as shit.
Right?
Oh, a lighthouse is awesome. They were selling a few lighthouses in Michigan a number of years ago, and I was all excited to buy one, and then they were stupid expensive.
Okay, I've worked out why it doesn't work.
Nothing shall. I just was.
Why doesn't it work?
Because I'm missing a gear.
You're missing.
Wait, what
Did
happened?
I miss a gear? I didn't miss a gear.
I missed a gear.
Uh-oh.
Well, I know, but I was trying to troubleshoot my thing through your.
Okay, so I have to deconstruct something and find a gear. Okay, there's the gear. So I have to deconstruct a section of this. This will be interesting. Okay.
Is marijuana's not legal in the UK, is it, Beckett?
No, but it's one of those things you probably
recreational?
won't get like arrested for, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
That's how it used to be in California.
But how do you even get it though? That's what I don't know.
You grow it, Wendy.
Oh, in the UK?
That's how everybody gets it.
Really? I'm so dumb.
Well, somebody grows it.
Wendy is in
other people just buy it.
On Beckett getting arrested. Beckett, please tell us how you get your illegal marijuana.
Like this is a little bit Fed posty, isn't it?
Fed.
Oh yeah, you're right.
She's a Fed.
She is.
You are a Fed, Wendy.
Well, I mean, I'm an ex-Fed.
It's a glowy.
So my military son-in-law had some phone calls he was taking a few weeks ago, and he was having to leave the room to take these phone calls. And I said, "You know, I have a clearance. You could tell me this stuff, right?" He started laughing. I go, "No, seriously." He goes, "Yeah, in the freaking 70s. I was like, "Shut up, rude."
You are. He's not wrong.
First of all, it was the 2000s. It wasn't the 70s. Don't let them fool you, Beckett. I'm not that old.
I would never accuse you of being old, Wendy. Don't worry.
Okay.
He'd think it, but he never accused you of it.
He's like, "Are you California old or normal old?"
What's the difference?
Well, you know,
if you're California old,
parts of your bodies are like a year old or
Yeah.
2 years old. Or
okay, I see. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah, like facelifts, Botox, boob implants, butt implants.
California old is young in Ohio.
Yeah, right. Hair implants. We have everything.
You have how many? You have gotten hair implants, Wendy? I thought you just
No,
got
I
nose
haven't.
stuff.
I haven't yet, but I think I want to. I want to get some more. I want to have like fuller hair. You know, like from the your 20s. You know.
Why can't people just be happy with what they have?
Well, that's not a California thing. We don't know how to do that.
Okay.
My wife
that's
thinks
cool.
that at some point I'm going to start shaving my head. What's that?
I've the mechanism now works. This is progress. This is
Outstanding.
progress.
Brilliant. Oh wow, you made a lot of progress.
Yeah.
Wait,
Love it.
what's working this?
It's good.
can't see
It's
it.
like this door thing here.
I love it. I love it.
Like turns. If I can actually get a grip on it.
Oh, nice.
Rises.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's so cool.
I'm pretty pleased with that.
David,
That's so good with that.
David knows how to build that. You could build that, David.
Do what now?
Jojo, I want to see him too. Jojo's gonna see Nate. I never can pronounce his last name.
Bargatze.
Yeah, Bargatze. Say it, Valhalla.
Bargatze.
Bargatze.
I want to go see Mancino.
Oh yeah.
Who?
Carlos Mancino.
Mancino.
Yeah.
Mancina, Carlos.
Or
Mencia.
I've met him.
Wait, what? Didn't he turn out to be like stealing everyone's jokes and he was a big fraud?
I know. That's why then I don't have to buy a bunch of tickets to see everyone else. I could just watch his show.
I've actually
Get
met
everyone
him.
else's joke. Have you really?
You did?
Yeah.
When you
I feel
were
like
a
he would be
bouncer?
a little bit too much.
Yeah, he did a show at the bar that I was working.
Nice.
He was actually
he a
really
little
cool.
too much?
He was really cool, if I'm being completely honest. What the hell is happening here?
Did he ask you if you had any cool jokes that he could use?
No, but I did ask him about that whole thing. He
What'd
was
he
very
say? Yeah.
uncomfortable. Nothing after. He didn't really say much after that. We got him really, really, really out of his mind, to the point where he couldn't unlock his phone. He was struggling.
Wow, that's that's
He was a little drunk.
Well, it wasn't. Yeah, he was something like that. Anyway. Yeah,
You know what?
sounded like that. Sounded like that, Wendy.
My wife
Sounded
and
like
I
that.
went to Traverse City a couple years ago, and we were randomly like, let's go to a comedy club. And Bobcat Goldthwait was performing.
Goldthwait?
What?
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
it old school.
And it was awesome. He was awesome. I didn't know he was doing this like road trip show thing or whatever. He was talking about that. But he was absolutely hilarious. And I hadn't seen him since I watched Police Academy.
You never watched Blow?
No,
With Johnny Depp?
that movie never appealed to me.
Oh, that movie was awesome.
Was he in that?
Yeah.
I'm assuming since you were asking.
He had one of the most like epic one-liners in that movie out of everybody.
What was it,
I'm
babe?
sure it was good.
He tested the product or whatever, and he right, and he goes, it was something along the lines of, "I can't feel my face, man. Like, I can feel it, but I can't feel it."
Nice.
It was humorous. I'm sure I butchered it, but it was humorous.
I'm sure you did. But he was good. I liked him.
Yeah.
Are there any good British comedians?
Oh,
No.
we've got lots of good British comedians.
yeah, true.
No, they're not funny.
Jimmy Carr is hilarious.
Jimmy Carr's good. I've seen Jimmy Carr live.
Is he the
Who's the
skinny
guy-
guy? Is he
He's
that
always
really
wearing the
skinny guy?
suit, very
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
posh sounding.
Yeah.
Ricky
Yeah.
Gervais, he's amazing.
Ricky Gervais.
All right, Ricky Gervais. Yeah, he's funny.
Even
yes, I
Russell
understand-
Brand's pretty funny, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken a weird path in his life.
He has
How?
all
he's
the ways.
kind of a conspiracy theorist now after, and he's become a Christian after being accused of a load of questionable sex things, potentially involving underage people.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it
He
always
found
got to be
Jesus.
questionable? Can't it just be normal sex things?
Not with a child. When you're an adult, not generally speaking, no.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with people, man. It's yeah, we've got a lot of good comedians. I can understand why Americans might struggle with British humor. I get it. It's
I
okay.
love British humor.
I'm a huge fan of the British Office.
Yes,
I get
Oh my
British
god,
humor.
right?
I think the British Office is better than
It
American.
is.
I
It is
agree.
way better.
It is.
And it was good to only go that was it 1 or 2 seasons, and then they had the one reunion. Was it 2 seasons and a
I
reunion?
think it was 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah,
2.
no, that was good. The one thing about British television is there is finality to it, which is nice. American TV shows go on for way too long.
Yeah, and it's also like a lot more episodes in American television. It's like this real pump it out kind of thing. Which
Definitely.
I've never quite.
You ever see the show Scripps?
Yes, yes. Scripps is a great show.
And so, what's his name? From Friends, what's his name? Joey, the guy who plays Joey.
Yeah.
Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah, he has a great line in there where, so the show is two British sitcom writers come over to America to produce an American version of their show, and Matt LeBlanc is like the lead character or lead actor, and they hate him, but he offers them a piece of advice when they're like offering up different storylines. He's like, leave the room open for character development and stories. He's like, because you're going to be, in the 5th season, you're going to be, at midnight trying to struggle to come up with a storyline. And he references British television that has like 20 episodes in its totality. And he's like, that's only one season for American television.
Yeah.
So you got to keep the storylines very broad and open and places to go. And I think that's actually why British television, for me, is better. Or at least American television can be better too. But American television, where they have shorter seasons and they actually have a character arc and a resolution, is so much better than these shows that just endlessly go on.
Would you remember How I Met Your Mother?
Oh, yeah.
I never watched it, but I know it. Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, they clearly had no idea what to do with it, and then it was just a complete mess by the end. Hey, Pinker.
Yeah, and they threw in the last. I think the end, the season finale. I did watch like a retrospect on it. The season finale was they sort of pulled it out of their ass and said, "Oh, this was your mother the entire time," or something like that. Yeah.
And it was
because they had no idea where they were going, and that's the same
it was
thing with
like
Lost.
it wasn't that it was like your mother all the time. Like, this is a story about Aunt Robin, who you really want to be with, and everyone was just like, "Fuck me," because the entire last season is basically Robin marrying Barney, and then in the last episode they undo all of it. They get like Robin and Barney get divorced, and the whole thing is how to. It's like we wasted an entire fucking season on this whole wedding arc that apparently didn't matter at all, and everyone was sort of
matter in the slightest.
Everyone was just sort of done with it after that point. I can't say I blame them. It's fucking ridiculous.
I didn't watch Lost either, but I understand that Lost had a similar issue. Like they didn't know how to wrap up everything.
Yes,
and you really have to go into a show with an understanding. Like Ted Lasso has been one of the most successful shows and a really good show that I've watched in recent times. And it knew it wanted only 3 seasons. It knew it was going to have this particular story arc, and it ended where it wanted to. And the same thing with The Good Place. Still, I think it had 3 or 4 seasons, but it knew exactly where it wanted to end when it started. And if you can map that out, it makes for much better television.
So I can see someone mentioning Last of the Summer Wine. Look, Last of the Summer Wine is a classic. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Wonderful.
Never heard of it.
Feel good.
Yeah, I don't know
Feel
that
good show. That's fine. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I have ended the book once, and now I
Good
have
job.
to. So this is where I've got the little Lightkeeper house. Oop.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, David is in Panama on his boat building a lighthouse.
Yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. I got the little innkeeper, or
stunning.
the lighthouse keeper's house. So now I got to build the whole lighthouse thing. This thing's gonna be big. I'm gonna keep it here on the boat. I have a feeling it's gonna continuously fall over, and I get to rebuild it over and over and over again.
It's the Lego project that never ends.
Yeah, never
It's
ending.
definitely going to do that. Is this book 2? Yeah, this has got to be book 2. Okay.
How are you feeling, Beckett?
Oh, this is
You getting tired?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. It's like 7 in the morning. What time is it for you?
It's like 6 a.m. and I'm building Lego. Like
gracious.
I mean, this has been really fun, but I also like this has been it's been a lot more than the tree was.
Well, we can call it a night. I'm on a good spot to stop. Actually, my iPad
Right?
is dying on me.
I happen to be I'm right. I need to open a bag, so I'm in a good spot.
I love this.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Nice.
Perfect.
So if you guys, Beckett's channel is in the description, and if you guys don't know Beckett or Copenseeth, you guys need to go check it out. It's what days do you stream? Because I get to notice and
completely randomly whenever I feel like I have no schedule.
I thought it was kind of random, but I didn't know if there was a
it's very random.
Okay,
it's very random.
It's always a good schedule. I'm in there. He's always ranting about somebody or someone's ranting about him, so it's a lot of fun.
Well, a brony convention.
So you said you're working on a video about some cuckold.
Yep, Jack Murphy. Jack Murphy's probably the next video that comes out.
That's the next video coming out.
It's like I haven't. Mostly, I've just been planning things, but I kind of start production next week, so it shouldn't take me super long. Should be out in like a week and a half, I think.
Do you have any live streams coming up? People ranting about you that you're gonna rant about them ranting about you?
I've got nothing like massively in the work. We'll see how the commentary war goes. One thing I do have is a friend of mine. We're going to be doing a Titanfall stream talking about gaming industry drama. So that should be pretty fun because there's been a lot of stuff happening with Microsoft layoffs and some of the stuff going on with just studios having issues. The preview for some of the new Vampire the Masquerade stuff is coming out, and it looks like it's going to be shit. So,
oh really?
Does it?
It's not looking good. You never know. I am hoping it's good, but it is not great. So there's lots of interesting things happening.
There's one I never played, but I had a bunch of friends that were into it.
Yeah, I love the original. I love the original. So yeah, there's a load of stuff like that, which should be really fun. And yeah, more on the horizon. I think we're sort of like hitting this mid-year lull. July's kind of quiet. August, traditionally, it's weird to say this about drama, which is sort of random, but traditionally, like August is when things start to go wrong for some people, and then November's like everything's on fire. So
really?
You get to like, yeah, there's a pattern. It's a pattern.
That's awesome.
So we'll be looking.
I guess I don't follow drama enough to know what the seasonal highs and lows are.
Well, I mean, we'll see what happens with some court documents coming out as well, because some court cases might tie up in the next couple of months, which will be interesting to see the outcomes of those.
Very cool. I gotta set up a redirect.
Where are you gonna set people up?
I don't know.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea.
Right?
Yeah, I just happen to think I should do that. Who's going? Let's see. Valhalla Awaits is streaming right now.
Yeah, I am.
Yellow Flash. MG.
I'm so bummed I learned that Flash is not the same as Flash Gordon.
Yellow Flash is a totally different Flash, Wendy.
Very different.
There's a yellow and a Flash.
Let's send over the Yellow Flash.
Gordon?
I'm gonna go and send everybody over to MG. That's what we're
doing. Oh, you gonna do MG? All right. I'll go the same. All right, we'll go to
We'll
MG.
chat wherever you end up tonight. We love so much that you joined us.
It's been great fun as always. It's just nice to come and chat, chill.
We love having you.
Lego. Thank you. Yeah.
Not having to read the chat. Wendy can read it for us.
Yeah, it's
and
nice.
Skip all over all
nice
the bad ones.
Yeah,
Much
right.
appreciated, Wendy.
Of course,
Let
it's
me,
always my pleasure.
Let me give you guys a little touch of the product before we get out of here too.
Oh, apparently Sean
Is that a deer in there? No, that's a goat.
It's a cat at the bottom and then deer up in the
little
top.
gato.
Oh, potentially criminals live.
Yes, I'm very proud of people from my chat for behaving so well.
I appreciate your chat coming over and
Your
hanging out.
chat's always lovely with us, right, Valhalla?
I've never had.
I love Beckett's chat. Beckett's chat's awesome.
David likes hanging out with them in their own environment.
Yeah, it's nice and relaxed.
Yeah.
We'll see some. There should be some. I know some stuff's dropping this week actually that should be interesting.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the outcome of that is.
I have all my alerts set, so when you go live, I usually hear about it. I'll be in there.
Nice.
Yeah, me too.
Nice.
All right. Take care, guys. Everyone have a
Good
good
night,
night.
everyone. Happy
Later.
Halloween.
Bye.
Attorney in a suit and goats on the loose. Divorcee sipping wine like there's no excuse. With Lego bricks stacked in a colorful haze, they're building dreams while the questions blaze. Brick by brick and word by word, secrets spill out as the pieces get stirred. From lawsuits to heartbreaks to stories of old, interviewing life while the sets unfold. Attorney holds a file, but now it's a brick. The farmer speaks wisdom that's earthy and slick. The ex pours her tea while she laughs at the jokes. Behind a strange world, there's magic it evokes. Flashbacks to courtrooms and fields of green, to Cali love lost in Lego scenes. Strangers pour out their life on the screen, in the strangest show you've ever seen. Brick by brick and word by word, secrets spill out as the pieces get stirred. From lawsuits to heartbreaks to stories of old, interviewing life while the sets unfold. Flashbacks to courtrooms and fields of green, to Cali love lost in Lego scenes. Strangers pour out their life on the screen, in the strangest show you've ever seen. Brick by brick and word by word, secrets spill out as the pieces get stirred. From lawsuits to heartbreaks to stories of old, interviewing life while the sets unfold. Classic castles grow, but so do the stories. Tales of fame, past glory, and embarrassing stories. The goat farmer grins, says life's full of muck. The attorney replies, bet that's worth the buck. Brick by brick and word by word, secrets spill out as the pieces get stirred. From lawsuits to heartbreaks to stories of old, interviewing life while the sets unfold.